The following podcast contains naughty language and ridiculous situations. Listener discretion is advised.
What a day today. We lose Edith Scobb, we lose Max Wright, and we lose Billy Drago all on the same day, and that fucking sucks. But we're going to try to lift everyone's spirits here today. We got a full crew here today. We're going to be talking about an anthology, and it's hotter than hell in here. Welcome to Trick or Treat Radio.
Zombies. You're listening to Trick or Treat Radio, starring the Deadites.
Welcome to episode 361 of Trick or Treat Radio. Trick or Treat Radio is the world's most dangerous podcast and is recorded in front of an undead studio audience at Castle Wolfenstein. We discuss one film, at least one film a week. We argue, we make fun of each other, and we hope to make you laugh. Some hosts might even die trying. MZ.
I came close. It might happen again. You never know.
And we also like to review horror anthologies, which we will be doing today. So I guess we'll get right to that. On today's show, we will be discussing the new horror anthology, Nightmare Cinema. And it features shorts from Mick Garris, Joe Dante, Alejandro Brugues, David Slade, I'm trying to do this by memory, and...
Joe Mama.
Shoot. Did I say Mick Garris, Joe Dante, Alejandro, David, and someone else? Wow.
Here, allow me. Just give me a moment.
It is, Ryuhei Kitamura. How could I forget Ryuhei Kitamura?
Quite easily, apparently.
He was the one in the smack dab in the middle. I remember the first two and the last two. So we're going to be talking about Nightmare Cinema. We'll find out if this is a horror anthology worth your time and your money, or if it's pass. We'll find out. And also later on, we're going to be discussing some of our single favorite anthology shorts. Not, guys, because I think we've discussed our favorite horror anthology films, but now we're discussing our favorite actual shorts. So you can just pick one from any of the horror anthologies and let us know. So if you're out there listening live and you want to join the conversation, then go on ahead and let us know. And shoot over your favorite shorts from horror anthologies. We'd love to hear them. So, Raven Shadow's now in his seat, late.
Yes.
You all healed up?
No.
No?
His hair is completely coiffed. His belly's full of pizza. He's happy now.
It's a good day.
Is it really?
Yeah. It's like Dr. Dre said.
What did he
Ice
say?
Yeah,
Cube,
what'd he
Ice
say?
Cube.
Yeah, what?
I fucked it up. Ice Cube said it. Today was a good day.
Yeah,
Actually, it wasn't. It was pretty shitty. But you know what is healed up? Very exciting. My car is now healed up.
Oh.
yeah. How'd that go?
It went good. It went good. It was done while I was laid up. And while Ollie was laid up with his cone, I was having the car being worked on. And it actually worked out. The check I was allotted from the insurance company was enough to cover the damages.
Nice.
Oh, you didn't get to take home any extra?
With a few bucks left over for smokes.
No, slow down, sir. It wasn't that much. But slow your roll there. But no, it was exact. So I signed the check off to the fine folks at...
that sucks.
Yeah, I know, right? I wish it was fucking totaled.
What? One time, this is many years ago. I'm trying to think of when this was. It was... you guys remember? It's when I had the ambulance, the old Jeep.
I love that. The white
Wagoneer.
truck,
The Wagoneer, yeah.
I love that.
God, I forgot all about that.
And so what happened? So I remember now. I was driving. I was stopped at a light, stopped at a red light. Some dude came up behind me, not even looking. This is before cell phones, by the way, so I don't know what the fuck he was looking at. But didn't even slow down, didn't even stop, didn't even know. Smashed right into the Jeep Wagoneer, and obviously there's like a little bit of a whiplash effect. Move forward, I was like, what the fuck, and got out. his car was completely fucked, like completely totaled. Front end, like all pushed in, and there was a tiny fucking ding on the back of my bumper.
Oh man.
Can you believe that shit? You guys know that thing. People call it a tank.
I missed that thing.
Man, I forgot all about that.
It was pretty intense, but yeah. So saved my ass, and so I brought it to get looked at, and they gave me like, I think they said it would cost $1,000 to fix because it did move in a little bit and create some structural damage underneath the bumper, but you couldn't even see it, you know. So I took that check, I pocketed it, I went to the junkyard and got a $50 bumper. Had someone fix it for me, done. And I pocketed the rest. And 2 weeks later, the engine died. So I had to use that money to get a new engine. So I guess it worked out, right?
Wow.
That sucked, though.
That was great.
I forgot all about that Jeep.
Yeah, man.
God damn.
That thing was awesome.
That was the first vehicle you drove in, Johnny, that I got to ride as a passenger.
Oh, it was exciting.
It was
wasn't
exciting. It was exciting because you weren't such a prude back then. I could
What?
I could smoke in there.
Well, times were different.
It's nice. It was the 90s, late 90s. Remember that too?
Oh, those wild 90s.
And I want to say thank you for Aries for bringing me home last week, last show.
Yeah, motherfucker, I didn't get home until 1:30 in the morning.
Yeah, right.
You know how
Sorry
useless
about
I
that.
was the next day?
Sorry.
Sorry, yeah.
About as useless as you are now.
Wow. Ooh, wow.
What the fuck?
What did
Sorry,
Aries
I'm
do to
sorry,
you?
man. I'm sorry. It's the heat. It's the heat.
Yeah.
I'm crazy
sure.
from the heat. Zabbida zoobida zibbida bop.
It's unbelievable,
I
man.
know, really.
Thank you.
No. We're talking about the shit you were talking about Aries.
Yes, I said thank you. Hey, what's up, man?
Jesus Christ.
He's not less angry
This
by
is-
that.
Yeah.
It's the heat.
All
It's the
kinds
heat.
of fucked up. What the hell?
It's the heat. I'm sorry. Fuck you. I'm sorry. It's the heat.
Oh.
It's the
Wow.
heat. Dick. I'm sorry.
Wow.
Yes.
This is
I'm sorry.
unbelievable.
It's the heat. It's the heat, jerk off.
This is unbelievable. Wow.
Did you get Tourette's over the last course of last week?
No, I don't
man.
think so. Look, it's just the heat, bitch.
And it's the heat bitch too.
When it's over 80, my fucking Tourette's be acting up.
Yeah. It is hot like the sun in here.
Oh, man.
Well, don't worry about it.
The AC will
it's like
cool it
1,000
down.
degrees in here. Aries got his whiskey. We should be fine.
Why we're gonna be fine because of that?
I don't know. Hey, bud. Hey, what's up?
2 of the 3 in this room will be fine.
Uh-oh, Wolfie, you're in trouble.
Wowzer.
You better do a good job.
Someone might be
producing
late.
the show. Oh, me. Oh, well.
Yes.
What? Getting his period?
No, as in the late Monster Zero.
Hey, hey,
Oh.
hey, another death in the world. Come on. Stop it, bitch.
What the fuck? Wow.
All right, Monster Zero's gone bye-bye. What do you got, Johnny? It's exciting. It's fucking. It's hot though.
It
It's
is a little hot. I shouldn't have worn even like
It's
I'm
hot,
wearing
too.
like a baseball shirt, so it was like 3/4 sleeve. That was
know.
even a little bit too much. I don't know what I was thinking.
Why don't you wear shirts like these ever? You never wear shirts like these.
What?
He has
Shitty and
awesome tattoos.
Shitty and ratty.
What? What do my tattoos have to do with something? I'm talking about the shirt.
Shitty and ratty. Is that what you mean?
What do you mean shitty and ratty? What's so shitty and ratty about this shirt?
It's a shitty ratty shirt.
It's not a shitty ratty shirt.
Yeah, it is.
No, it's not. It's a good shirt. Even if you consider this a shitty ratty shirt, why don't you get yourself a shirt that's not so shitty ratty and wear it? Wear it without sleeves. Why don't you ever wear those?
I don't like sleeveless shirts.
How come? Don't you want to show off your guns?
I can show them off in my shirt.
Oh, Jesus. One of those pricks.
One of those pricks.
Those
No,
fucking assholes.
I just. What are you trying to make up for something? Try to hide the fact you don't have guns by showing them off?
I got guns.
No, you don't.
Yeah, I do.
Let me see.
See?
yeah.
I didn't even do anything.
That's like the equivalent of like a gun that doesn't shoot with a bayonet on the end or something.
Or like the fucking the bang comes out.
Yeah,
Like,
yeah, bang. Wow, that was kind of pathetic, MZ.
Thank you.
You're a strong guy.
I strive to achieve, you know?
Yeah, no, you don't. You don't strive for anything.
Achieve what?
Yeah. Jesus, man. So what do you got? What do you guys think?
It's
Sleeveless? Yes or no?
No.
Wait, for you?
No. For just
In
anyone.
general, no.
For you.
Yeah, no, I
please.
do have a it's not ratty, by the
He
way.
would look
I mean,
like a marionette if he wore one of those shirts.
Hey, Bombadeo! No, I wore that a shirt like that when I was recuperating.
In your house.
In my house.
Right.
You didn't go out in
Without
public.
anyone seeing you.
No, I typically only wear like if I walk the dog. That's when I do it. I really don't leave my
Yeah.
my property. You know, maybe my parents' backyard. But yeah, you're not going to see your boy Raven Shadow with no sleeves.
Well, MZ shows up here in his jammies. So.
That's true. Actually, I think I wore the exact same outfit after my surgery.
We're actually lucky that he wears pants, so
Yeah,
you know.
that's true. No, it's
Damn
not-
right.
Today it would be forgivable to not wear pants because
Yeah.
I'm thinking about losing mine.
Yeah,
It's
come
so
on,
hot
everyone,
here.
all on three.
Well, you got long pants on. I mean, I don't know how you could do it.
Well, Aries is hardcore.
Yeah.
Aries would live on the sun if he could.
Yeah. He probably could. He's Aries.
I wear shorts. I'll wear shorts all the time, but no sleeveless shirts for me. Doesn't work. I don't like them.
Yeah, I don't do.
What about you? You must be sweltering.
I'm fucking on fire, dude. Yeah.
Why didn't you bring something to change into? Are you wearing a t-shirt underneath that?
Yeah, thermal. I'm wearing a thermal.
Well, that's not an unreasonable question. You're wearing a button-down shirt.
Yeah.
You
Are you
have an
wearing
undershirt
anything
on.
underneath?
Wearing anything underneath?
I don't. No, I only
No.
wear a tank top if I wear a white shirt
So
because it's see-through.
button it down.
Show a little- yeah, there you go.
See, he's
There you
wearing a
go.
shirt.
I can't see how it looks on camera.
Your Italian powers are being enhanced
okay, about
by
me.
the being enhanced by the heat. in
Take
this.
the sweater off. You cool off a little bit.
How's that in fucking 1080p, Corny? Why is that
Wow.
rug attacking Raven Shadow?
I'll bet his back looks the same way.
No, it's weird. It's not. I'm gonna button this back up. I forgot it was like that.
Oh my God.
He's starting to turn himself on.
Let's go to
He's
commercial.
picturing himself on a bearskin
Oh,
rug.
I gotta bop the Leo. You know what I mean?
Bob the Leo. Bob
The
the Leo.
old Burt Reynolds pose.
Yep.
Yeah, no,
Or
no.
Shawn Michaels with the title belt.
Yeah.
No, that's fuck what I'm doing. Give me the fucking award.
No.
Yeah. Yeah.
No.
We
Is
all.
that what you're going to do when
Johnny-
you take it for the day?
Johnny said we can all get it for the day.
Yeah, but no, because there's so much. We don't have enough alcohol.
Yeah, not to mention the fact, you know what
To
he would do? He would
sanitize
cut
that.
out the tongue.
Hey, Manzero, you wanted a kiss? Don't let me get it first. There was a weird fucking shit at that house. Sorry.
Wow, man.
It's a good start.
See, if you say so.
Nope, still solid. Okay, it's not melting.
Yeah, actually, it'd be funny if the award melted and it was like a puddle.
Oh.
Evil Corny is hanging out. He says MZ's guns need some more sun. Need something. Need some more guns.
I've
muscle.
I've gotten more. I've gotten more sun.
He puts the un in gun.
Yeah, you just need more sun in general. You are a
Well-
pasty motherfucker.
Yeah. Well, I don't like going out in the sun, but I've been out in the
It
sun.
shows.
But I've been out. I've been out in the sun more. I'd probably say in the past week than I have in the past maybe 3 years. In past 3 years.
Why is that?
I just don't like the sun because I burn.
No,
very,
why have
very
you been
easily.
out more?
Oh, just driving around. You know, doing a lot of driving lately, and
That's not the
out in the
sun.
sun.
it is when you're
Asshole.
driving. It is when you're driving in the sun and walking around after driving in the
Jesus
sun.
Christ, that's being in the sun.
Yeah, it is. For me, it is. Believe me, it is because I
Fucking troglodyte.
because look. I take vitamin D pills because I don't get out. In the sun
Oh,
enough.
he gets a lot of vitamin D.
You want to boost?
Yeah. I
You
take
You want to edit this, MZ?
I take 50. I take 50,000 milligrams of vitamin D, doctor prescribed, because I don't get enough sun. Because my skin I burn far too easily.
So you put some fucking shit on your skin. Put baby oil on. That'll help.
Baby oil. Yeah. Fuck.
Where diaper wear at? Yeah. It's a little fucking
What would
binky.
it turn into? A
He's
piece
got
of
a
bacon.
Yeah, yes, that would be
Is
amazing.
this sizzle on the ground?
I want to see that now.
No, I don't.
Oh man.
So I mean, yeah, right. Jesus.
Aries is a little darker.
Yeah, just a little bit.
And,
I-
and to prove I don't wear the
Yeah. What we call that? The Irish tan?
Okay. No, I just don't like being out in the sun for very long. I mean, I can remember one time I was up in Maine. This was about maybe 25 years ago. I was up in Maine with a friend of mine, and I was out in the sun, scorching sun on the beach for about 40 minutes, and I got heat stroke.
Jesus.
Yeah, and
That's more about not having enough liquids.
No, I was drinking fine. It was just a matter of just being out in the sun for 40 minutes at a time. I was sunburned, and I was sick for like about 4 or 5 days after that. It was ridiculous.
You gotta wear a hat. Get a hat.
No, I didn't. I don't.
Get a big bonnet.
Did I wear, I
A
don't re-
bonnet.
I don't recall wearing a hat.
Get one of them parasols, and you make one like the movie we saw, the Ninja Blade parasol things. What
Oh,
was that movie?
Oh, the
Shadow.
Shadow.
Yeah.
Or I could be Sergeant Kabuki Man NYPD and start tearing down people with a fire projecting parasol.
You could do that.
You could do that. That'd
I
be
could.
good.
we could just go full on penguin.
Yeah.
No, yeah, I'm not a big fan of the sun.
I'm with you, MZ. I hate going outside.
It burns me easy.
I like going outside, going to the package store, and come back in the car and go home.
And what is Wolfie laughing at? I mean, he's about as white as the rest of us.
Yeah, I don't get much sun, but I just think it's funny. I laugh at your pain.
Thank you.
Yeah, but you look more pasty than him.
Well,
He just looks pale.
I look pale. He looks.
I have
pasty.
the
No.
the
He looks
Aries
pale.
thing.
You look pasty.
Oh.
I have the Aries thing.
'Cause Johnny's always in the gym. There's no sun in there.
Yeah, you can see. Well, you can see.
You can see the tan line, yeah.
When
Yeah.
he rolls up his sleeve, you can see he's
Well,
got
because
a
I
little
mostly
bit
wear
of a,
T-shirts.
You can see a little bit of a coloration there. Not
All
me
right.
though. I mean,
Yeah, nothing.
there's just nothing there.
Oh boy, we're off to a great start tonight.
Plus, I work all day in a refrigerated warehouse, so you know, and so I'm like covered from head to toe and shit. I wear a winter jacket. I wear a
work?
winter coat all year round.
Wait. Slow it down. You work in a refrigerated warehouse.
Yes,
Is it like a meat thing?
it's food. It's food, not just
Okay.
meat, but it's food.
Like the big ones that Rocky punches?
No,
Like those
no,
big,
nothing
like-
like that. Nothing like that.
You were going to ask to come and beat the meat, weren't you?
No, I'd beat the meat. and
Can I, though?
He'd be my trainer drinking the booze.
Yeah. Come on, Monster Zero. You're gonna shit lightning and fucking crap thunder. Do it for Raven Shadow, because Raven Shadow loves you. You fuck.
Do you love him?
I like him. I like you very much. Yeah.
I'm
no.
a very likable person. I'm not
Yeah.
a very lovable person, though.
Who told you you're likable?
Yeah.
My mom.
I like Monster Zero a lot.
She also told me I was handsome. So there's that.
You are handsome. When you were dressing like a big boy at the Deadeye show, you were very handsome. I told you.
You
that
look like
several
John
times.
Travolta.
You did.
Oh, yes. Well, I get that anyway.
Actually, you look better than John Travolta now, at least. Yeah, like
Yeah, you
Like-
do look better than John Travolta now.
Thank you.
He looks terrible.
yeah,
Thank you. Thank you.
like whatever that like, the first movie he like shaved his head in. That was weird.
Oh, Swordfish? Oh, no, it wasn't Swordfish. It was, oh, wait, maybe it was Swordfish.
It wasn't Swordfish. He had that weird like cropped. It was. I think it was definitely a piece.
Oh, the guy
What, the ball?
definitely wears a piece.
Oh, yeah.
It's alright though. Good for him. Stay alive, buddy.
Evil Corny says, you can get sun poison. I've seen people get that. And they says, how about an urban sombrero?
Yeah.
What's an
Yeah.
urban sombrero?
Well,
I
should wear one to find out.
What if you type something in your little thing over there?
Why don't you type it in your phone?
Yeah, why
Type
don't you
something
do
in
it?
my little thing right there.
Yeah, little
Computer?
yeah.
Yeah, it was either, yeah, I can't, now that you mentioned poisoning, maybe it was sun poisoning as opposed to sunstroke. It was pretty ugly though. It was
Well,
awful.
if you had sunstroke, you would have been in the hospital.
I was never in the hospital. Then it was probably sun poisoning, and it
Or,
s-
I mean, it could have
it
just
sucked. Whatever it was, it
been heat
sucked.
exhaustion.
Maybe. It just fucking sucked. I hated it. It was awful. Well,
Wow. What the fuck?
What are you gonna do?
What are you gonna do about it?
You gotta sing the blues, and you know it don't come
The
easy.
sun.
And since
It's
then,
hot, huh?
And since then, I just haven't been out in the sun. It's just not my favorite thing to do.
How's it going over there?
I got Urban Sombrero, and it's a bar,
Well, let's go.
Oh my god.
but it's got 4 stars,
Oh, that's good.
and we can call them.
I'm guessing it's in the Southwest.
No, oddly enough, it's a sports bar with Mexican plates,
Sports bar.
Okay.
sandwiches, and
Did,
burger.
did you
plus
say sports
Where is it?
bar?
sports bar? It's 16221 40th,
Oh my God! Give me a state.
Denver,
Colorado.
not Massachusetts, America. Yeah,
It's in Colorado.
and it closes at 2.
Well, it's Ed there. Let's go. We can make it.
Yeah, it's good. They're the Urban Sombrero in Denver serves more than great Mexican food. They're also a passionate sports bar. You better fucking win, Denver Nuggets, or we're gonna fucking go over there.
We're gonna fucking go over there.
Yeah, we're from fucking Denver, and we're
You're
pissed.
gonna walk in the door. You're gonna go Boston, and they're gonna kick the shit out of you.
Yeah.
And go Brady.
Yeah. That's all
How's
you
that?
Like you say, Elway. They'll like that.
Yeah, Elway, all
need.
day.
Elway sucks.
Yeah.
Actually, he was my favorite quarterback when I was growing up.
Oh boy.
Watching football. When I
I'm
watched,
so glad we know that.
back in the day when I watched football.
Yes, back in the day.
Yes.
Good start. Could probably get out here earlier if we just do the right
Yeah,
thing
let's.
right now.
Yeah.
Q Buster. No, it's exciting. It's hot. You know, this is a weird thing. You know,
Hot.
no, we're getting to what's the number? What's the number this week? What's the number this week?
What's a number this week?
What's our number, Johnny? This week?
What do you mean?
Our episode title.
361.
361. That's What?
If you were here instead of combing your follicles, you wouldn't have to ask that stupid question.
Because I don't care about any
Oh
of
my
them.
God.
Oh shit! Until 365.
Yeah, there you go.
Urban Sombrero.
Wowzers.
Yeah.
You could rock that.
I think I'd go with
I
Elaine's
could,
over.
but why would I want to?
I think what loses it. It shouldn't be as high on top.
I think that's
You know
the
what? I
urban
thi-
part.
You know what? I think
it looks like a dick.
You know what? I think I'll have the sun poisoning.
I'll take this. I'll take the sun poisoning for 200.
Yeah.
Alex.
Yeah. Exactly.
Thank you, Corny.
What did Corny do?
Did Corny post that? I think.
No.
No, who did?
Marion.
Oh, thank you,
Oh.
Marion. She's so fucking smart with the
Marion.
the gifts.
Maid Marion.
I'd go with Elaine.
Now, mind you, all she did was punch that into the Google and look for an image rather than a restaurant.
I listen. I'll
Yeah.
tell you what I did. That's the first thing that came
No,
up.
because that's what I did. I punched it in, and the restaurant came up. Then I hit image, and that was like the 4th image down.
You got Denver too, right?
Yeah, but then I went image, and it showed a whole bunch of hats.
But how do you know Marion didn't get Denver too? First.
She probably did.
She probably
But then
did.
she hit the image button and got images of hats.
Because she's smart.
Well, she has much better eyes than I do.
Because she's smart.
Why don't you? Why don't you get elective surgery for your eyes?
I wouldn't do that either. There's 2 things I
your
wouldn't do on a
brain.
whim. I'm not gonna
Get your balls snipped and get your eyes fixed.
Yeah, no. You gotta.
Both would make your life infinitely better.
And ours.
You really love like hindering yourself.
I'm really fucking good at it, Johnny.
Yes, you are.
Yes,
Yeah,
you are. Yeah, you-
Gee, what?
yeah. We're all glad for that for you.
What gave it away?
Yeah, self-destructive, self-defeating, self-mocking. Yeah, I'm the fucking guy.
Check.
Fucking idiot.
Look, who's talking.
Fucking guy.
Oh man. Ravenchild, I think you wanted to talk about something. I think this is probably we got some time here in the intro.
Yeah, I wasn't sure I was gonna maybe do if I did an intro, but I'm sure Monster did.
You weren't here in your fucking seat, so you don't get to do the intro.
Oh.
You can't do the intro from downstairs brushing your fucking hair.
yeah.
I'm
You
gonna
can have
use
the
it
intro
as-
of the sound of the comb going through hair.
That'd be
Yeah.
nice. Yeah, I'm gonna go live from downstairs.
Listen to you whining as it gets caught up in your snarls.
Bill, you know why? You know why it does it? Because I run it under water first, under the faucet, and it kind of like the water kind of smooths it out a little bit.
Right.
But that's a good segue, and thank you, Johnny. No, we're at kind of at the end of an era, right? For the comics industry and fans, the legendary imprint by DC Comics, Vertigo, is coming to an end pretty soon. 1993 to I guess 2019, right? And I mean that imprint had a host of titles that definitely kept me in the game when everything was ponytails and pouches in the 90s. Sandman, Preacher, Why the Last Man, 100 Bullets, bunch of motherfucker books. I mean, Scalped. It's great, and it definitely Transmetropolitan.
Yeah, classic, man.
You know what I mean?
Well, and that one even started on Helix, right?
And that's very good too. Yeah,
Yeah.
I mean, so and that's kind of a point I wanted to make too, where Vertigo, yes, it had books and stories that were completely separate from the modern day DC universe, but there were books that were still a part of the DCU that just had the Vertigo banner on it. They just didn't weren't involved in crossovers. Like Hellblazer, John Constantine and Hellblazer was the same John that would be at Hal Jordan's funeral.
Yeah.
You know what I'm
Yep.
saying?
Yep.
Same thing with Swamp Thing, and even Sandman, Tim Hunter from the Books of Magic.
Yeah.
So it wasn't like it was his own separate thing. There were books that were separate, like Preacher, 100 Bullets, like I mentioned, but there were books that were just that sprung out from the old mature readers line they did back in the day. Animal Man was one too. He was a member of Justice League Europe, and also his book kind of went to Vertigo and got really fucking weird. But
That was recently though, right? Didn't the Grant Morrison run wasn't Vertigo, was it?
no, it was
because that was awesome.
it was really awesome, and they just called it Mature Readers.
That's right. Yeah.
Same thing. Even Green Arrow had that banner too. Like I remember buying an issue of Mike Grell's Green Arrow, which was
Yep.
after the Long Bow Hunters, and there was an issue where like Green Arrow's like, all right, I'm gonna go to fight crime or whatever the fuck, and Black Canary's left in her bed, and as he's leaving, you see a hand slowly go down the sheets. So Black Canary was having a little a solo mission that day, and that was in a book that was just had mature readers on the heading of it. It wasn't gratuitous, but just if you were a 13-year-old boy, you started reading Green Arrow a lot more.
That book's stuck together now, isn't it?
I don't want to talk about it, Aries. But no, I mean Jeanette Kahn. I mean all the creators. Grant, too many to mention, but I was a huge Vertigo mark. I know most of the guys in this room was, and Vertigo really set the stage. I mean, Vertigo almost kind of became a adjective. It's like this, but Vertigo style, or everything. It really set the stage for what kind of came. And to my knowledge, the reason why they're getting rid of it or they're rebranding it is because what Vertigo was outrageous for over 20 years, probably. A lot of books are doing now. I mean,
Yeah,
it's
it's a little bit more gray area now than there used to be, I suppose, right?
right.
Because especially, I think it's with the advent of the great television that we're getting, it's really pushing the boundaries, of what you can do and what is kind of in the public consciousness,
Exactly.
Well,
Okay.
they didn't abide by the comics code, right? Vertigo. That was their way of breaking away from that.
And well, in fact, I mean, really, for the comics code was so arbitrary in the last 20 years. It was very voluntarily that it was pretty much to get your books on newsstands and Walden Books for the most part.
To get it on a spinner rack, pretty much.
Spinner rack, yeah. But comic shops, you didn't really need to, so it was kind of like, yeah, we have it on there, but yeah, they didn't really need to abide by it. But like HBO, it was always HBO kind of set the stage for original programming for the longest time.
Yeah.
And then you have fucking Showtime, Cinemax, TNT, FX. Heck, motherfucking China has their own original programming right now.
What?
Which is the cable. Yeah, I'm actually, which is our cable provider.
Yeah.
Which has actually a cool show with Jessica Alba. I might want to check out. She's a cop in L.A.
Well, and also with so I was mentioning the sort of advent of great television, but shows like Game of Thrones that really push boundaries, and I guess made that more acceptable because Game of Thrones is probably one of the biggest shows in the last 5 to 10 years, and everyone watches it and everyone talks about it, and I think it really kind of desensitizes people to a lot of what Vertigo might have been doing back in the day.
Right. I mean, it was legendary. I mean, and DC tried other imprints in the past. Like I said, Johnny, they tried Helix,
Yeah.
which was a sci-fi based imprint.
Yep.
And that didn't. I mean, there was some good talent there, but it didn't have the longevity. But when that ended, Transmetropolitan just went to Vertigo, and all that changed was the logo on the top cover.
Yeah, nothing changed about the book at all. Yeah.
That was it. So what they're doing to kind of replace it, my understanding is they're going with the black label branding,
Yeah.
and that's where you can get maybe your edgier material. It's the label that had the famous Bat Johnson.
I guess I can understand it maybe from sort of the layman's point of view, where someone just going into a shop may be like, oh, what is this Vertigo thing? You know, like if they just want to get, because obviously back in the late 90s when Vertigo was maybe at its peak, mid to late 90s, you know, like there wasn't all these comic book movies out there, you know? So now if they're trying to pull in other people, you know, they may just want to have that DC brand all across all the products, and, you know, maybe try not to fragment it even slightly. I liked it, but if you're not in the know, you might be like, what the fuck is a Vertigo, you know?
I can 100% agree with you
Yeah.
on that. That someone walking in the street, they know Marvel, they know DC.
Yeah.
You slap Vertigo, they're just going to go, I don't know that. I'm going to move on.
Yeah.
And step away and look for the Marvel or DC logo.
Now, did it have the DC logo on the Vertigo books? Do you recall? I can look it up.
I
but
think they did. I think they did.
I don't think it was as prominent. Like, you know, because you look at a Batman book, DC was right in the upper left-hand corner. That was what you noticed as far as the label goes. But the
Yeah.
Vertigo, I think it was more of hidden if it was anything.
And trades might be different, but
yeah, I'm going to try to look up single issues.
Yeah, trades I don't even think had the Vertigo logo on them.
very rarely no. But when Vertigo started out, it
Yeah,
was
there's no mention of DC on. So let me just pull it off here and put it on a different screen so you guys can see it.
but it was a place where maybe it wasn't your typical, you know, muscle-bound hero or spandex-clad, you know, woman. The art was a little bit funky, you know. The
They
writing
were
was a
fun.
little
Yeah,
bit
and
funky.
the heroes were unique.
right.
Like, it wasn't the norm.
And
Yeah, you can see this one here. I don't know what issue this is. I can't tell, but it just has the Vertigo logo up top in the top left. No DC.
Oh, that was 17.
I believe you.
you could be right.
I actually don't remember this, so it must be one. Well, no, it's probably not an early one because it's got.
I'd probably say this is a later one
Yeah, it must be
because it seems to have a lot
because there's
of
a lot of
people
characters
in
on it. Yeah.
You know, where it started out very smart, very quirky. Like your Sandman was your highest seller. And then when Sandman ended, then Preacher came in. That became more guns blazing, more swearings, more F words, more nudity. But that's kind of the norm now. So on one hand, maybe is there no need for it? Or rebranding is in order? Maybe, but I think you're still going to see those same kind of stories.
Yeah.
And to be fair, I had a conversation a couple days before this announcement was made, and I can't tell you what a Vertigo book is now currently.
Oh,
I
you couldn't name a title.
Right,
That's what
right.
you're saying. Okay.
So, I mean, if I can't, you know.
I mean, I didn't know anything about this until you started speaking of this. And so I don't know what the whole, you said DC Black is what they're referring
yeah,
to?
there's three branding. There's going to be a young readers, you know, geared towards your G-rated stuff.
The more of the conventional old school stories.
Yeah, you're young, like you're, you know, like kids.
Yeah.
Teen Titans.
Like Teen Titans Go type stuff.
Oh, yeah.
Teen Titans Go. And then your all ages stuff, which is the DCU proper. And Black Label is where their more mature content is going to be. So far, they've only had 2 books out the gate, and one's Batman Damned, which, like I said, it had the famous scene of Batman. You kind of see his dick in a scene.
Okay, so that one's been out for a little while.
Yeah, it took a long time because issue 3 just dropped today.
Okay.
And now there's another one. It's actually Superman Year 1.
You see Superman's dick?
I didn't look hard enough, but probably not because it kind of backpedaled. But this is weird. It's by Frank Miller and John Romita Jr.
I'm in.
Yeah, but I think it's like crazy batshit Frank Miller, like not giving a fuck anymore.
Sometimes that's good.
Yeah.
You might like it. Yeah, you might.
Yeah,
you
I
might,
mean,
yeah.
because old school Frank Miller I love.
Absolutely.
But there's, as he's gotten older, he's been hit or miss. But you describe it as batshit crazy Frank Miller. You got my attention. You know, crazy old motherfucker. I'm in.
So yeah, I think it's gonna evolve. Comics run in cycles. You know, it wouldn't surprise me if maybe 10 years down the line they might try to bring it back again. But is there a need for it? I'm not sure anymore. Although they are doing for the younger readers, Johnny Constantine. I'm not,
Johnny.
What the fuck is that?
yeah, I'm not quite so sure that will translate. Like, is he gonna be smoking like candy cigarettes? I don't get it.
Chewing double bubble.
yeah.
And it's on his lip.
Big League Chew.
Yeah.
I wish.
So yeah, I mean, I don't know. R.I.P. Vertigo. Thank you for the stories, for the magic and the memories.
Yeah, and for me, it's more of a nostalgia thing. Like I understand why they're doing it. Like I don't necessarily love it, but I can understand. But for me, it's nostalgia because I love seeing that Vertigo logo. And
Oh yeah.
it's just kind of like an end of an era, right? Because Vertigo produced that imprint produced some of the best books DC has put out in the last 20, 30 years.
Was it best books in the world for a long time?
Maybe,
you know?
yeah.
I mean,
Yeah.
And the ones there's so many more. Black Orchid,
Oh, yeah,
The
yeah.
Dreaming. Like there's so much Scalped.
Yeah, I think you mentioned 100 Bullets, right?
100
earlier?
Bullets,
Yeah.
Fables,
Fables, yeah.
and there's the Losers. There was a Vertigo storyline called the Losers.
Yeah, that's what Corny in the chat room says. Losers was one of my favorite Vertigo series.
Yeah. So I mean, it's great stuff. I think we'll still see that content, but it's kind of a bummer not to see that logo anymore.
Yeah.
And
then didn't they reboot the New 52 where Vertigo was? I mean, Vertigo's always been part of the continuity, but didn't they more closely integrate it during the 52 with the Justice League Dark and stuff?
It's very selected,
Yeah,
selective.
yeah.
If it's a creator-owned property, then yes, that was its own thing. But once again, the Black Orchid,
Yep.
Swamp Thing, Animal Man, John Constantine, you could still see those characters in the DC
Yep.
universe. They probably wouldn't get involved in the Millennium crossover Crisis on Infinite, whatever the fuck. But they could show up. Phantom Stranger could be in a Batman book, and he could be also in at John Constantine's 40th birthday party. Zatanna, remember
Yep.
the Justice League?
Yep.
Was at John's 40th birthday party, where I love it. I talked about it all the time. Where Swamp Thing shows up.
Yeah.
John takes a little piece of Swamp Thing and makes this giant fucking pot plant.
Yeah.
And there's a scene of everyone getting tuned up, and Zatanna, JLA member, is levitating in the kitchen,
Yeah.
speaking a spell backwards, basically I'm pissed, as in the English drunk, piss. Drunk. Smoking a fucking joint.
Now, I'm
That was
unfamiliar with the
pretty
story, but I got to ask, did Swamp Thing smoke himself and get high?
No, what happened was John's friend Bender had a pot plant, and then John used some magical machinations to grow Swamp Thing out of the plant, and Swamp Thing was pissed and basically just kind of
So
made him
he showed up and then said screw you and left.
yeah, he basically he's like don't make me do it, and he's like yeah fucking do it mate, and then he made the plant bigger and then kind of went back into the green. It was a fucking weird party.
I mean that does sound cool, but I really would have loved that Swamp Thing smoke himself and get high.
He didn't want to be there, but the best part about that issue,
He doesn't want to be anywhere.
he does. He's very surly. He's very surly. So John, everyone's getting fucking toe up, and John goes outside in the alley, he's taking a piss, and you hear behind him, Phantom Stranger shows up, and he's like, long have I been a stranger to mortals, and I walk the shadows, and I walk alone. Perhaps it's time for me to seek companionship in humanity. And John just turns around, fucking drunk, and pisses all over the Phantom Stranger.
Oh yeah, that's amazing.
He looks down and goes, or perhaps not, and then goes away into the ether.
I do remember
fucking
that
great.
book. What book was that?
That was Hellblazer. And
Yeah,
it was
I remember reading that one.
It was a standalone issue. It's cover. It's John's face on the cover, smoking a butt with
That's
a pint.
that's a few years old, 10+ years old at this point, right?
At this point, no, this is 20-something years, bro.
Okay,
This
I said
is-
10+.
Okay, well, yeah, plus this is 90.
Okay, yeah, I'm remembering this title, this cover as you describe it.
It's been a while, but I had the magnet on my fridge. Oh, that one. I know. Yeah, fair, but it's so good.
I lose time the older I get.
Fair. We were in a mall in the 90s. There was a comic book store that we went to. A bunch of us were there. And they were doing a thing where they would take comic covers and they would put them on, make clocks out of them.
Wait, a mall had a comic store in the 90s?
Yeah,
What mall?
I don't know why we were there. It was a bunch of us. It was me, you, Parallax, maybe Provost,
Jesus Christ.
Beelzebub. Yes, it was a long time ago. And the guy couldn't believe that we were comic fans. Like, why are you guys in here? Because we had like long hair and leather jackets.
That was at the Greendale Mall.
Thank you. You remember this here? Yeah, Greendale Mall. Yeah, right. So it was there.
Yeah.
The appearance of comic book fans has changed a lot over the years.
Oh, exactly.
It used to be an exclusive club, and now, like, everyone, which is cool, Well, maybe not everyone. Not everyone buys comics, but you'd expect to see, like, anyone come in a comic book store these days, And I'm sure you can speak to it, yeah.
Yeah.
Nicholas is hanging out on Facebook, and he says, even I know what Vertigo Comics is.
I'm bored, Nick.
Oh,
Yeah.
Fucking smart.
it makes me feel old when someone young goes, even I know that. It's like, motherfucker.
I know that. I know what a record is.
I've heard of 8 tracks. Corny says the other is Batman Last Night on Earth.
Yeah. That sold out like a motherfucker, Corny. So you got that one. That's the last. It was a Zack Snyder. It's
Is it a DC Black? Is that what he's
Black
talking
Label?
about?
Yeah.
Yeah. Okay.
It's Greg Snyder.
Greg Capullo.
Greg Capullo. It's Snyder's swan song, or that creative team's kind of swan song on Batman. And the other ones, they did it on New 5-2, and they've been working together ever since. But this is their final ride.
Cool.
But they're nice, actually. The areas they're big. They're
Are
almost
there-
like a
Are they like the Alex Ross size ones that came out?
no,
like
a little
90s, early 2000s.
more magazine size, so like an Entertainment Weekly.
Okay.
Or a
See, I
Time.
don't like that.
Right.
That pisses me off. A comic book, make it a fucking comic book size. Like, when that's just, that pisses me off. Try to get attention in a different way. That's all that is.
Well, for me, it's like how are you going to store it? Johnny's point, the Alex Ross ones, the giant ones are beautiful and great, but where are you going to fucking put them?
I had to put them on the side of my long box. Right up against the edge of the box.
Yeah.
Yeah.
See, that pisses me off when someone does something like that. It's like it's a uniform size for a reason. Keep it that size.
And then find a bag for it.
Bag, box,
You know what I mean?
any just motherfucker. Just you can say I can't even find the words
Ayers
because
is pissed.
I am so annoyed by it because a lot of books I like do that shit and it pisses me off. Miller does it with a lot of his books.
Yeah.
And it's fucking motherfucker. I just want to smack him.
DC, fucking stop it. Bring Vertigo back. Ayers is pissed. Know what I hate the most, though? I hate when they'll do it. They did it with McFarlane and Liefeld did it years ago. I hate when they do the fucking flip the book over, so you have to read the comic.
Oh yeah. It's so bad.
I've never seen that.
How-
I've never bought a book like that. So yeah.
Although there are some, like there's some artists, J.H. Williams III does it sometimes where because he plays with his layouts. I love his layouts, by the way, but sometimes you will have to look at it in a different way to sort of see the whole thing. I'm fine with that, but
An individual page.
individual
or,
pages, yeah. But do you mean a whole?
Yeah.
Like
So
a whole issue.
Yeah, it was on the adjectiveless Spider-Man. It was Todd McFarlane's last issue. It was a crossover between Spidey and X-Force with Cable at the time. And yeah, so you can probably do McFarlane last Spider-Man issue. But yeah, so you read it. So you have the cover. Turn the cover sideways, and that's how the characters would be. And then to read it, you'd have to like turn the page. I don't know how you would describe it. Like you were
vertical. You're
You're holding the binding horizontally and opening the pages
vertically.
upward.
Yeah, that's
seems
a
like
really
a
awkward
hassle.
way.
like you were looking at a centerfold, Monster Zero.
That seems like
That explains it perfectly to him.
that seems like such a hassle.
Yeah, and I was like, fuck
You're
you.
a
I don't
hassle.
want to read it like this.
Fuck you! I don't want to read it like this.
I'm
like-
not going to read Spider-Man. But it's Todd McFarlane, 91, whatever the fuck, so I did.
So you read everything.
yeah.
Oh yeah, I've read and I've purchased many stories that the size of the book has pissed me off, and when I go to put it away, I curse every name on the book. Whether you just drew one page of art, your ass is getting cursed.
Motherfucker, colorist,
But-
prick. You and your fucking letters there.
Motherfucking inker.
Letter boy. You suck.
So rest in peace, Vertigo. We loved you.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you, Ella Creators.
Yeah,
Wow.
and you wanted to do this during the intro?
Well, no, I was going to do a little, but yeah, no. I was going to say something, but then maybe I like the conversation. I like talking about Greendale Mall from the 90s.
Great deal.
It came up once.
Apparently, it's like a graveyard now.
Oh my God! I walked into the Best Buy there,
Yeah.
and just looked out into the mall, and it looked like the mall was closed.
Yeah, yeah.
Which
It-
one was this?
Greendale.
Oh my God!
It was a ghost town. I
desolation.
really just kind of wanted to walk down just to,
It is. It's a
but
ghost
there was
town.
no one in the mall.
Yeah, it's like, it makes fucking Dawn of the Dead Mall seem like the fucking...
We could go film a fucking movie in there.
We
Nobody
probably
would
could.
know.
Yeah.
They would welcome us.
Yeah, it's...
They were like, as long as you eat the food court. Oh, sorry, there's nothing at the food court. Sorry.
Come by Sabaros.
I mean,
his-
even at its most jumping.
Dream Machine used to
Time.
be there, right?
Yeah,
Yeah.
Dream
Yeah, oh,
Machine.
yeah, yeah.
Yep. I mean, and Suncoast.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
Even during its most happening time, it was still rather dismal in there in
No,
comparison
no.
in comparison to other malls.
No,
Well,
there
it
was a
s-
time where
it's a
that was
small
the mall.
though. Yeah, it's a small mall, but yeah, I would agree. I agree. I think for a while it was hopping, but yeah, like, and funny thing is that Suncoast video actually has some lore with it around not Trick or Treat Radio, but sort of on Raven Shadow's end of things. Smoke and Tie Salmon. That's where I originally met Smoke and Tie. Was at that Suncoast. He used to work there.
That's right.
With the manager that worked there, and then the manager went off to go work at the video store that I ended up working at. I got a job there, and that's where I met Mars and Tiny, and then Smoke and Tie Salmon got a job there. So, like, just kind of ties
shit.
together.
And if you hadn't met Smoke and Tie at that Suncoast, we
His-
wouldn't have met him through you.
Right,
We
and he
wouldn't have formed the Kobayashi Maru.
right, and he might not have met his wife, and he wouldn't have kids. It's like Back to the Future all of a sudden.
Shit. Blows me away, yeah. Johnny's like fucking Marty McFly.
So, fun times reminiscing, huh?
Suncoast video, man. I
Suncoast,
remember
yeah.
that place was awesome.
Suncoast was dope.
Yeah.
That was a chain, right?
Suncoast was the
Yeah, it was a
place,
chain,
man.
yeah. All over the place.
Good place to get your movies.
That's where I really first started buying movies, was there.
Well, probably most people, yeah.
Yeah.
VHS or DVD, and that's where DVD started.
That's when DVD took off, yeah.
Exploded.
Yep.
I remember buying, I think I bought some box sets there or something early on. I don't remember.
And they would even have like cool like a precursor to they would have like Newberry Comics type stuff too. They would have like pop culture shit, movie related.
Oh yeah, like I
figures
have
and
a
stuff.
Sin City magnet set from there.
Yeah, right.
Yeah,
Yeah.
yeah.
Oh, Suncoast Video.
What else
MZ
is-
misses it.
What else is no longer here that we love?
We've gone over this
That's
a
true,
lot,
yeah,
like
yeah.
quite a bit. Actually.
Sparrows.
Hello,
Sparrow's still around.
Is it?
Yeah. I think I just saw one the other day.
Really? Yeah.
So,
KB
all right.
Toys.
Well, we got to start to wind things up here in this little intro.
Yeah, I guess they get lubed up, Johnny.
Yeah, you did get lubed up.
Yeah.
Y'all lubed up?
No.
So, you know what? We haven't done it in a while. We'll do some intros. What do you think?
Oh, I don't know. He wasn't in his seat.
I know,
it's
but we
been-
haven't done it
It's been
in
a
while.
week.
So I'll go ahead and introduce everyone quick, and then we'll start to wind things down here in the intro. I am Johnny Wolfenstein, the pencil pusher and producer of media for Trick or Treat Radio, and also, well, unfortunately, the Outside Corner is on a bit of a hiatus right now because me and Tron, are having trouble syncing up our schedules, but
He's mad at you.
he's not mad at me.
I talked to him.
No, you did not. What did he say?
He said, "I fucking hate Johnny Wolfenstein."
No, you did not.
I don't think you should be speaking for Tron.
Listen, I'm gonna speak for
Don't
Tron.
speak for anyone.
I'm gonna speak for Tron. No, he loves you very much. But he's just mad at you.
I think he's gonna kick in the door. Soon.
Yeah, that would be awesome.
He wants an apology. No, I'm just kidding.
We also have the vulgar guru of horror, star of Blood Pigs, Fetus, and the upcoming Morbid Tales, and Septic, one-time contributor for Horror Hound magazine, Monster Zero.
Hello, everybody.
We also have the Triumph Riding, Stage Erecting, Whiskey Drinking, Chief of Security, Warrior of Nor'easters, America's Sweetheart, Rick Rubin's Stunt Double, He Drinks and Breaks Things, Aries God of War.
Hi, everybody.
Hi, Dr. Nick. We also have the chain smoking, hand kissing, baby shaking, lorazepam loving, former comic book reading nerd, the official smoke chamber for Castle Wolfenstein, the pimp of promotions, the Italian rapscallion, the professional bullshitter, the cool principal, the proprietor and secretary of the Sexy Speakeasy, Mr. Runtime, the Duke of Degeneracy, and the Parisian Bruja himself, Michael Ravenshadow.
Also mentioned fucking assaulted,
You did get assaulted. It was awesome.
but Aries God of War threw a ball at my chin.
Whoa.
That
what
wasn't the
did you
first time you had balls full of your chin.
It's not nice, Johnny.
And fix the air conditioner. You just
Yeah, you
you
keep- he didn't
fell
just-
right on top.
No, and that's fine. It's fine right now.
No,
It's
no,
fine.
no, no, no.
Right, I'm sure it is.
It's pointing
didn't
right at
just-
me.
Yeah.
I've been trying to like suck it up until the break.
Now that feels good.
Yeah. But no, Mr.
He's got his hands on it like it's
Yeah,
good,
yeah.
like it's his
Like
good
it's his
friend.
date.
Yeah,
Yeah, I got fucking Keith Folk over here throwing fucking heat.
Keith Folk.
Red Sox closer.
yeah.
Yeah,
Nice,
no,
nice
I got-
reference from
what-
15 years ago.
Yeah.
All right,
Yeah.
Aries fucking Papelbon over here.
Oh, that's only
Really?
12 years ago.
Wow.
Great. Who's the closer for the Red Sox right now?
They don't have a fucking closer.
Oh, you're right. All right. I wanted to.
Oh,
it
are
was
they
a
back to
trick-
closer by committee?
It was a trick question for you, so you passed.
Yeah.
Corny says there was a Spider-Man X-Force crossover.
Yeah, that was the one corny, right? You fucking hated reading it too, right? Tell me. Tell everybody.
All right, so we'll talk about how to support the show. If you guys want to help support us, the best way is to head on over to Patreon.
You stop banging into the goddamn thing. He's banging into it and aiming it towards you.
That's fine. That's fine.
Fuck that noise. Put that over here. Get away from there.
You do realize you have like an arm. Your armrest is like.
And you're blocking it.
Well, that maybe you should tell Mr. Handsy McThronis
How
over
can
there.
somebody who's so skinny block an entire air conditioner?
Well, from the waist down, baby.
I just want to let that hang for a little
Yeah.
bit.
Go.
Yeah.
Could you find the ball I threw at you?
Give it back.
Throw it back, yeah.
Yes, exactly.
Oh, here you go, Aries. I don't know. No, Johnny fucked it up. Sorry, Johnny. But,
What?
No, he did.
What did I fuck up?
How did he?
No, I'm gonna tell you why. Because he did that weird. What's the thing you did? You
This-
made it change.
Put it on the swing.
You put it
It's
on the
always
fucking swing.
swung.
No, that's new.
That's not new. I didn't fucking like.
He turned it on. It does it
I
when you
just
turn
turned
it on.
You asshole.
You said you enabled the what's it called again?
Swing.
The swing feature.
It's
Like
it's
fucking-
just it just moves the air up and down.
Like a fucking big bad fucking voodoo daddy's gonna show up with fucking.
You want
Brian
to just
Setzer.
keep it going in one direction all the time?
I'd rather have it moving from left to right than up and down.
Well, I can't control that. I didn't make the fucking thing.
I don't know how this droid fucking works.
Well, put it on its
It
side.
works by you not bumping into it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, if I
I'm
had-
gonna
Stop that.
You know what? You're gonna lose your armrest privileges.
Oh,
Listen,
Aries
I-
is gonna take those
I
off.
can take
hurt.
those off.
Better yet, how about if he loses his arm? Just rip it right out
Even
of
He
the
better.
doesn't have an arm. He doesn't need the armrest.
That's elective.
I see where you're going.
Elective surgery.
I like your thinking.
We can get you
in
some
the butt.
elective surgery here right now, Raven.
I have a
Shadow.
saw and a screwdriver in the truck.
Just
But
nip it
maybe-
in the
Aries
fucking
is a
butt.
bit of a Wookiee.
It's true. Oh,
So
I won't rip it off. I'll cut it off.
okay.
I have a
He's-
saw.
He's a
I'm
civilized.
civil.
He's a civilized Wookiee.
Yes.
I don't know. I gotta pay for this one procedure first. Haven't gotten that bill yet.
Take your fucking hand off the goddamn air
Listen,
conditioner
short
now.
sleeves Johnson. I don't fucking know. Fucking Brett Short Sleeve from fucking the Weather Channel.
What? the fuck?
It's fucking hot. Aries is throwing things at me.
You deserved it.
All right, so if folks want to go ahead and help support this insanity, you can head on over to patreon.com/trickortreatradio, and you can help support the show for as little as $2. What does $2 help do, Raven Shadow?
Buy more air conditioning.
It's another chance to keep the lights on.
So, and the other way to keep the lights on is if you head on over to trickortreatradio.com, scroll down, find the Amazon logo, click on it, brings you right to Amazon, puts on our affiliate link. It doesn't cost you any extra, but that also what?
Is what I just said. Johnny fucked up the.
No, you
the
jumped the
order.
gun, so I wanted
Did
to,
I?
Yeah. I'm to fuck you up.
All right, let's do it again.
No,
But
too
also-
late.
That's
Too
not
late.
over.
Too late.
But it also.
All right, let's start the show over.
All right.
As long as he gets to hear his intro again, he's happy.
Tonight, we are here
No.
with a sleeveless wombat and a hot motherfucking studio
The sleeveless wombat.
and a big mean guy who throws balls at his friends. Welcome to Trick or Treat Radio.
That's great. That's just fucking great. You're a miracle.
I am a miracle.
The first 15 minutes, you're insulting everyone in the room. Someone insults you, and you're like, "Oh, he's a miracle."
Yeah.
Because that's not funny.
It is. Here's telling you, Aries, go fuck yourself. Whoa, what the fuck is
Yeah.
that?
We're just swearing at Aries nonstop.
It's the heat. I can't help it.
Yeah, it's
You
really
crazy
hot in
from
here.
the heat?
Aries got cancer. What the fuck? dude?
Wow.
Yeah, bro.
Jesus.
Wow.
That was
Jeez,
pretty
that was
dark.
dark, man.
Yeah, seriously, Johnny, your sleeves are on. Why don't you get leprosy while you're at it?
Jesus Christ.
That's what Monzero was saying.
No, that's what you're saying right now.
I didn't say
No,
leprosy.
I'm not saying
Yeah,
that.
he
That's
didn't say
what
leprosy.
I said AIDS.
No, if he kept going, he would have said that.
He said AIDS.
AIDS.
Yep, that's how it develops. That's where it goes. That's
Wow.
where it
That's
goes.
the king high mucky muck of them all. AIDS.
Jesus Christ.
AYDS.
Those issues were good. They fought the Juggernaut in that crossover. You're right, John. You're right, Evil Corny.
Oh, man.
Yes, also in the chat room, Evil Corny's very concerned about you, MZ. He's like,
Yes.
quick, Wolfie, talk Transformers. MZ is checking out.
He checked out as soon as he heard Vertigo.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Eyes just rolled back in the head.
He got vertigo.
Hey, if you're going to talk about the Hitchcock flick, I'm all in. But Vertigo comic books, snore.
Wow.
I bet
Wait, no, you read Preacher,
I did.
didn't you?
No.
You would have loved Preacher. Perfect. Oh, no. Oh, no. I know what's going to happen yet.
Classy with a K. There you go.
Speaking of classy.
Did you even read like Transformer comics?
There we go.
Not really. No.
No.
All right.
Oh, wait. Oh.
I've tried fad diets, powders, pills. Still,
What?
my weight's been up and down like a yo-yo until the AIDS plan taught me how to take off weight and help keep it off.
AIDS may taste like a candy, but AIDS contains one of the most effective appetite suppressants you can buy. And there's no stimulant in AIDS that could make you nervous.
With AIDS, I ate less, so the weight came off. To help keep it off when I sometimes want things loaded with calories, AIDS helps put me in control.
The AIDS plan can teach you how to take off weight and help keep it off. Try new peanut butter AIDS.
Oh, I love peanut butter AIDS.
Peanut butter AIDS. And coconut AIDS. And blueberry AIDS. And
Tropical AIDS.
chocolate AIDS. And tropical mix AIDS.
Jesus
And
Christ.
potato AIDS. And
Just in
Butter
time, just in
AIDS.
time for St. Patrick's Day.
Yeah.
Patio
Wow.
AIDS.
and,
Oh,
and,
man.
Kool-Aids.
Kool-Aids.
LL Kool-Aids.
Yeah, so if you haven't given us any money yet, and you
And now's the time to give us money.
you're thinking, you know what, you might have to buy some back-to-school clothes for your kids. No, don't do that. Help us, help us.
If this sounds like the kind of content you want to back,
Thank you, Scaricon.
Oh, God. All right. So, like I said, best way to support us, patreon.com/trickortreatradio. And hopefully by this time next week, I'm hoping to get some time to put up some new content for July. So if so, there'll be some Scaricon tidbits on there. Things are a little hectic right now, so it may not be on the 1st, but I'll get it out as close to the 1st as possible. But we'll get some more special Patreon content up there for you folks. So if you guys want in on that, and it's Patreon only. We have some cool stuff from Scaricon on there too. So if you guys want to see that, head over to Patreon to support us. We'd appreciate it. And then also, if you guys just want to toss a couple bucks our way, don't want the commitment of Patreon, you can head to trickortreatradio.com, click on store, and then we got some digital content. We got Trick or Treat Radio Volumes 1 through 3, the greatest hits, and some other stuff. So give it a look. Raven Shadow, you sit down to watch Nightmare Cinema. What do you do to prepare for this movie?
Oh, I get excited, Johnny.
You get AIDS.
I get, whoa.
You had some peanut butter AIDS.
Yeah, that's fucking weird. Well, the
and,
dog
the, and the
likes-
weight just came off.
Yeah, that's why he's so skinny,
Of course,
folks.
you'd never know it.
That's why I could never shave my head. 'Cause I'm like, he's so sick. Look at him. It's finally happened. We told him it would happen. He thought, I'm going to live forever. Just keep your smoking. Keep smoking, little Raven Shadow. You're going to live forever, but now you're sick, aren't you? You got the AIDS.
Oh my God!
It's all your fault from smoking.
You don't get AIDS from smoking.
Depends
just
what you smoke.
Okay.
No.
Oh boy.
I don't touch bucket.
You got the AIDS.
That's
Wow.
yours. Yeah, they're gonna blame me. It's all my fault. You deserved it, Raven Shadow. Go fuck yourself, Raven Shadow. That's what they're gonna say. Or go fund yourself. Pay for some fucking health care. Keep making them jokes.
Yep.
I got a.
He was in the middle of his thing.
No, I know, but I got a. I got
An
a
urgent
special
message?
announcement.
Oh,
A
boy.
special announcement.
Okay.
This better be good.
From Brian Paulin.
Oh.
Morbid Tales is finally coming to DVD this summer.
Yeah.
Thank you to a huge thank you to Thomas Binder, and Black Love Us Entertainment for making this happen. There's no street date yet, but it's finally a reality. So
That's awesome, man.
Yeah. Let's see. DVD will be NTSC region free, so everyone will be able to play it. And as soon as he gets a release date, he will announce it. So
Awesome. Maybe we'll have to have Brian on for that.
we
And
definitely will.
also, you'll have another film under your belt out there in
Yes,
the world.
I will. Yes, I will. Oh man.
Oh man. Oh boy.
Man,
Oh, my God.
Well, I shot that like 5 years ago. Jesus.
I know. Yeah, it was a while ago
It's been
now.
a long ass time.
All right. Cool.
So I guess
So let Raven Shadow finish, please.
yeah, no, thanks for jumping in, lover. That was good.
It was a special announcement. It's,
Yeah, because
breaking news.
later this summer couldn't have waited until after the break.
So with news like that, you know I had to strap on.
You go through your week with the same old routine.
What you really want is some blood and thunder in your life.
Well, friend, you found it.
The Cromcast is an adventurous journey through the history of two-fisted pulp stories
With your hosts, John,
Josh,
and Luke.
we have action.
horror,
An adventure, all through the lens of pulp luminary Robert E. Howard.
Don't just stay in your ordinary life.
find your pulp life at thecromcast.blogspot.com.
The Cromcast,
The Cromcast.
The Cromcast.
a podcast for the barbarian at heart.
This is Chocolate Beast. You're listening to Trick or Treat Radio, but you should be eating nougat.
Oh, delicious nerds. Ms. M knows you like to chat it up with other sexy shut-ins about comics, movies, video games, and your favorite TV shows. If that sounds like you, cuddle up to the Trick or Treat Radio Facebook group, or the FIB. That stands for Fan Interaction Board. Just go to Facebook and search for Trick or Treat Radio and have more fun than a Jedi at a lightsaber sale. Not enough? Watch us on YouTube, The Deadites TV, all one word. Last but not least, check out the world's most dangerous talk radio show, Trick or Treat Radio, at trickortreatradio.com.
It's not a problem at all. I got plenty of noodles over there.
All right, we are back.
Oh,
on Trick or
already?
Treat Radio.
No, we did see. Aries and I were talking about the finished product of Morbid Tales, and he was asking if I seen the finished product yet. I said no. Then I go on to say that I
You did the
recorded
audio commentary
for it like 3 years ago, and I'm like, oh yeah, we did do it.
So either the commentary is bullshit or you're sorry.
No. The commentary's real. There was just added footage that he wanted to throw in there.
Okay.
And I guess funds dry up. That whole.
So he's releasing the director's cut before the original cut.
I guess so. Who knows? Look, I'm just thrilled that it's finally coming out. I can't wait. I can't wait to see how this is going to turn out.
Have you even seen a cut of it, or you just?
I saw a cut of it. I had to have because I did the auto commentary.
Sorry. Yeah. Of course.
No, I'm all confused too.
That was 3 years ago. He doesn't remember a damn thing about it.
I don't remember what happened 30 minutes ago.
We know that.
Or 30 seconds ago, for that matter.
Yeah. What happened?
So let's talk about your sleeveless shirt.
What sleeveless shirt?
All right, we're going to talk about Nightmare Cinema is what we're going to do.
Yeah.
And it's hot, too. All right, Nightmare Cinema just hit VOD and select theaters on the 21st of June, I believe it was. Yeah. So this is a horror anthology, and it features films directed by Alejandro Brugués, Joe Dante, Mick Garris, Ryuhei Kitamura, and David Slade. I'm not going to go through who it stars because I will mention Mickey Rourke is in it. He plays the projectionist, who is a character that sort of is part of the rapper, I suppose.
But there are a couple of other names in here.
Yeah, there's some notable ones. I guess Richard Chamberlain would be notable,
Richard
right?
Chamberlain, yeah.
that was
and
him?
also, all the way down at the end of the list, if you look on IMDb, Patrick Wilson.
Where was he?
He, according to this, he plays Eric Sr., and I'm trying to remember. I think Eric Sr. was. I know why. He's the voice. He was the guy on the phone in that the one with the mother and the kids in the doctor's office. I think he was the voice of the
he was
dad.
the ex-husband.
The ex-husband, yeah.
Oh, okay. That makes sense.
That's why he's so low down on the
okay. Yeah, I was wondering because
I was trying to find him too.
Yeah.
Oh.
And it just dawned on me. I'm like, holy shit! Okay, yeah, he was the guy on the phone. So he was just a voice credit, not
Ezra Buzzington was in it as well.
He had 3 lines of dialogue.
Yeah, he was the voice on the phone.
Yeah. All right.
Yeah.
He was good.
So it's got some decent, some notable names that some people might recognize, and some other folks. Let's see, I don't remember her name in this, but one of the other actresses was in. It was the David Slade one, the black and white one, and she was in the Twilight films. I think I've never seen them, so I don't know. But
I was trying to. She looked familiar.
Yeah, she's been in a bunch of other stuff. I just there's so many people in this cast. I don't have her name right in front of me. Let's see. Yeah, that was it Sarah? No, that wasn't her. Elizabeth Reeser, I think. Yeah, she was in Twilight, Ouija, Origin of Evil, and I guess she's also in Handmaid's Tale and some other stuff. Haunting of Hill House. She was one of the mains in that. That's right.
Ah, that's why she looks familiar.
Yeah.
Ah, yes.
All right, so the synopsis we have, very simply put, 5 strangers converge at a haunted movie theater owned by the projectionist. Once inside, the audience members witness a series of screenings that shows them their deepest fears and darkest secrets over 5 tales. So, I guess we'll do what we normally do for these. There's 5 shorts. We'll go through them in order and just kind of give some highlights and some thoughts about each one, and then we'll kind of move on, and then we'll talk about the film as a whole, near the end as we get close to the verdict. So, let's see. First off, the first one we have is The Thing in the Woods, directed by Alejandro Brugués. And just for the record, I'll go through some of the other features that the directors have made. And Alejandro has worked on, he did Juan of the Dead, which I didn't get a chance to see, but I heard good things about Juan of the Dead. He also did some of the episodes of From Dusk Till Dawn, the TV series.
Okay.
And he did a segment in the ABCs of Death. He did E is for Equilibrium. I don't remember that one, unfortunately. We watched that like 4 years ago, 5 years ago, maybe now at this point. So, but yeah, I mean, he's a fairly accomplished director, and he's he's done some cool stuff so far. So this this is where we get our introduction to the sort of loose wrapper. Like, it's basically this theater. This, people show up to this theater, go in, whether by force or by their own volition, and watch a film featuring themselves.
Yeah, for whatever reason, they're alone. It's late at night.
Yep.
And whatever they're doing, whatever causes their path to bring them to this theater, drives them to come in.
Yep. So I thought, it's kind of an interesting setup. You can tell that the main character in this segment, The Thing in the Woods, was, calling an ex or a boyfriend or something like that, and she was certainly upset, yelling at the voicemail, and then just happens upon this movie theater, sees her name on the marquee, and just instinctively walks in, almost like she's compelled, walks in, sits down, and then she goes into the theater, and she's like compelled to sit down, like it forces her to sit down.
Right. A light shines, like this is your seat.
Yeah, exactly. And then she watches the film, and she's in the film. And I thought it was a pretty cool setup. Because a lot of times we get these wrappers, like, I'm not a big fan of the VHS. I like the VHS films generally, but I'm not a big fan of the wrappers that they have. And that's probably one of the more successful anthologies that we've talked about in the last few years. And it's just sort of like superfluous. Like, it's just a way to bind them together, but it doesn't really make the film any better or worse necessarily.
Yeah. It's like one of the last things that they thought of when making the movie, really.
It's almost like filler. It's sort of like how when you're making you're making food and you want something to stick together, you need something to get it to stick. It's basically all it is. It doesn't really add much flavor or anything necessarily, but it's sort of a binding agent that holds it all together. So, I mean, I can appreciate them. I just wish there was a lot of times a little bit more effort put into the wrapper to make it interesting,
Because there's got to be a purpose behind it, but
now I don't.
I do. I think there should be a purpose behind it.
No, I agree, and I'm trying to remember because it's been so long that we did the Theater Bazaar, but didn't that one have a decent wrapper with Udo Kier, right? I believe.
Yeah.
Ooh.
I don't remember exactly, but I think I remember that. Like, I don't remember liking that film very much, but I think the wrapper, if I recall correctly, was okay.
Yeah.
So, I mean, it's been a while, so maybe I'm wrong. But
or if the stories were somehow linked together, like in Southbound.
Which was awesome.
That was a fantastic
That was
movie.
probably one of the better anthologies. Speaking of which, just off the cuff here, talking about Southbound, Radio Silence, that's the collective that directed that. They have a new film coming out. Let me find out what the name of it is, because I forget. It looks really cool. It definitely looks different. I'll look them up while we're talking about this and find out what it's called, because it's here it is. No, that's not it.
Yeah, I was kind of hoping, because it just the way the movie introduces itself, you kind of knew that the wrapper was going to be rather loose and very, very thin as far as the plot goes.
Yeah.
So I was kind of hoping that maybe, possibly, that all 5 of these stories would somehow link into one another, but that isn't the case.
Ready or Not is the name of the film, and the poster's cool. Like, it's about just in watching the trailer, the lead is like marrying into a family, and part of it is like, it looks like once you're a part of this family, you have to like survive a night in their house, and like all the members of the family are trying to kill her. And it looks like, I don't know if I think the husband is actually trying to help her. But anyways, synopsis: a bride's wedding night takes a sinister turn when her eccentric new in-laws force her to take part in a terrifying game. And trailer makes it look pretty cool. I'm looking forward to it. So, that's the next film from Radio Silence, the directing collective that did Southbound. So just wanted to comment on that real quick. So Southbound was definitely one of the cooler ones that we've did. For the most part, They were all fairly successful shorts, varying degrees of success, but they were all pretty good, except I think there's one I wasn't too crazy about, but otherwise they were good. So with this one, we have this sort of loose wrapper that has Mickey Rourke as the projectionist, and he doesn't appear before every film. He just is sort of interspersed. He literally probably shot for one day, and that was it.
Yeah.
But I mean, just having that name, you're believed to think that this is going to tie itself up better than it does. Like they obviously spent some money to get him.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
They wanted a name, they got him. Okay, we're going to pay you for a day of shooting. We have all this material. We want to wrap up these stories with you. And I think they fell a little short.
Well, it was very inconsistent with his kind of wraparound role. Like, if he was going to be this version of the Crypt Keeper, like, it was very jarring. And if we're talking about that now, like, we don't see him until the second, end of the second.
Yeah. Which throws a huge irony into just who Mickey Rourke is. Because when you know what the second story is, the irony is so unbelievable.
Oh yeah,
I see what you mean.
I mean, I was just like, that's kind of it was. I felt it was appropriate that they introduced him there.
Yeah.
But I didn't have a problem with the whole. I would have liked it maybe a little, hint at him. Because you wouldn't even have to have had him, just.
Right,
someone playing that role as the hands or something.
Yeah, even just from behind, a shot behind with the light from coming up front of him just like loading a reel onto a projector.
Yeah.
Something as simple as that I think would have been nice to establish that, because it is a little weird when you meet I'm doing finger quotes, and you meet the Crypt Keeper after the second short. Like
with no indication that he existed.
Because we're already over 45 minutes in. To the flip.
Yeah, exactly.
Now, had that girl come in that first scene, and maybe there is a shadowy figure from like the box, and all you see is
that's all you need.
Sit down.
Yeah.
It's about to start, and she sits down.
That's all you need.
Yeah.
And his first line, I think one of his few lines is, "I'm the projectionist. Welcome to my nightmare." That was it. Said
and
so
you know what?
Deadpan and so
I hated that
Give
line.
that man
I did too.
$10,000.
I hated that line.
So unenthusiastically too. He's like,
Yeah.
"I'm the projectionist. Welcome to my nightmare."
But you know what? It shouldn't be welcome to my nightmare.
It should be welcome to your
nightmare.
Your nightmare.
Right.
Yeah, absolutely. So, there was some missteps on that, and obviously they only had him for a day, is my guess, because he's barely in this. So just
for like 5 hours.
Just get some establishing shots of him from behind in the projection booth.
I mean,
you don't even need him for the shadowy shot. You could have someone else do it.
Yeah. I mean, the busiest that you see him is in the last story.
Yeah. Which I can't wait to talk about that one.
But we do see him twice. We see him at the end of the second short, where he says, "I'm the projectionist."
Yeah.
And then we see him at the end of the third short, where he says, "I'm the projectionist." Again, and then we don't see him until the end.
Yeah.
It's like, all right, see you, Mickey Rourke.
So let's get back into talking about The Thing in the Woods. We get this. I thought the short looked great. Like, I love the way this one looked. I don't know, like, It had some great camera work, and just like the way it was shot was gorgeous. I really liked it. I was drawn in right away just by some of the technical elements, and it was sort of your typical slasher style short, right?
Which looked great, by the way. I really enjoyed that old '80s slasher style.
And you don't get that often in these in horror anthologies, right? Like, you get people trying to tell like a weird sort of like, maybe not weird, but trying to tell a different kind of story. Well, and I love that Alejandro embraced that in this, and he even subverted it, which we'll get to in a little bit. But I thought he did so much in 20 minutes with this. I really enjoyed this one.
Not to mention the fact that it was also it was non-linear.
Well, in a way, it just stuff was revealed later on that was the twist or the subversion. So it's smart that it was done that way, because otherwise it wouldn't have had the impact that it did.
Yeah, because you had that where someone lifts the mask and it's like that shock.
Yeah.
What? And then, you don't realize that shock until the end.
Yeah.
Which I actually enjoyed. I thought one of the things was, which I didn't like about the whole reveal, not the reveal of the monster, the reveal of what type of short this was, is it was a little in your face with the first corpse she encounters, where she falls on it.
Yeah.
And it's obviously very stiff.
Yeah.
And just comedically pushes herself up, falls down. Up, down, up, down. It's
well,
like,
I think that's the point, though.
But it was
playing up on those tropes.
But that was just a little too over the top right from the get-go. That was just it just, I mean, I understand it's a short, so they really got to get to the point, but that was just all in, like, 100% first gag was, I'm going to fall in this stiff corpse 5 times. That just was a little too much for me. It needed to be eased in a little bit more.
I agree. I think if you take away 2 or 3 of those, it would be a little bit more realistic.
Because it was more of a, oh, come on.
But the thing is, he's not going for realistic. He's going for the tropes of the genre.
That's fine.
I understand that, but because it was just so much in your face all at once, it was more of a, come on, and then it was just like, oh, okay, I get it now, rather than easing into it.
Yeah, I mean, would your opinion of that change if she did that, say, maybe 5 or 6 more times?
Well, I don't have an opinion, so I just didn't care for it. Like, I didn't care either way.
Okay,
it's just showing.
We didn't care for that either.
It's just, I mean, I'm just saying it's showing it's embracing the tropes, and embracing, because that happens in all slasher films. So he's just doing what he's supposed to do.
There's a thing of him. Well, there's a difference between embracing the tropes and making a mockery of it.
He wasn't doing that though, man. I mean, I think what Aries is trying to say is no.
Don't
speak for him.
I'm gonna smack you every time you say that.
No, I'm just having fun with you, but no. I think it was like from the get-go. Is it going to be like a comedy? Is it going to be like a joke? And
because because he's working under a time restraint. I understand that. So he's trying to establish what it is right from the get-go. But I just felt it was a little too much all at once. But I'm on the fence because I can understand short time frame. Like I gotta make everyone understand what is happening. I just think maybe he could have dialed it back a little bit.
And there was no other tropes even as far as I could see. Maybe you guys could.
There was a lot.
Oh, there was a lot. Loaded.
It was a highlight reel.
Whoa! I know that.
Okay.
But no, of tropes, I know that. But tropes played to the comedic effect.
Did you see the fight scene?
I thought the fight scene was great.
Did you see the blowtorch?
I thought it was.
Yeah. To the comedic effect, everything in this thing.
I don't know if that was. I never thought of that as comedic.
It did draw attention to it, whether it was supposed to be comedic or not. It was drawing attention to those tropes and overdoing it. You know, Marion says, "I felt it was preparing the viewer for the rest of the film."
Yeah,
and I think it does a good setup because it plays on those tropes, and in order to subvert expectations, you have to play into them. So you're saying this is what we are. Now we're going to pull the rug out from underneath you. You know, because if you don't do that the way a slasher film would have done it in the 80s, subverting the expectations isn't as powerful, in my estimation, you know? So I think that's why you have to play it so close to how it was done. And that's why I think this one was very successful.
And
go ahead. No, go ahead.
And from that scene, you have your attractive girl and your jock, pretty boy jock, are the final kids that we see so far. You know, all their friends are dead. They're in the woods, and there's a slasher with a gimmick, you know, with a welding gimmick, you know, and it hits all those spots, and it does a really great job of it. And I was really enjoying the short, but at the same time we love the stuff from the 80s because it's nostalgia. It's what we saw, or we just from that time. What I'm thinking is, do we need to have more of that nostalgia if it's a scene by scene remake of it? You know what I mean? Like almost like.
Well, no, because it's not a scene-by-scene remake of anything. It's just, it is that type of story played out for us, where we're 100% used to, you know, being able to build to it over the course of an hour and a half, where this is getting thrown at us in 20 minutes. So I like I said, I understand that, but they just kind of, like, this was not a roller coaster where they built slow clicking. This was a quick launch. This was a quick launch roller coaster and threw you right into this.
And that wasn't a criticism on my part. I enjoy a song that sounds like an 80s metal, song, 90s, in the modern 2000s, whatever the fuck.
And to my point, you had to hit those high spots, so to speak, in order to subvert them. So I think it was, I know you're not saying it was unnecessary, but I feel it was necessary to hit all those spots.
Oh, no, and I agree. And what I'm trying to say is, like, I'm enjoying everything. I'm just having fun watching it when they come across their attempts at help when the local police official get the implication that.
Oh, yeah. And obviously they had some issue in the past.
Right. Obviously he was bullied by the jock.
Yeah.
And there's a scene where, then the real killer shows up, and shit happens, and you kind of wonder, instead of trying to get the keys to the cop car, why don't you radio for more cops to come and run instead of going up close to the killer or run back?
Because if you really overanalyze this movie, he would have never shut his cruiser off.
Yeah,
right.
He would never have shut his cruiser off.
You're right.
So movie over. If you're going to overanalyze,
and once again, that's not a criticism. I'm enjoying everything I'm getting. Everything, I'm just having a blast, and that's why when there's the turn happens, that's when I fucking get even more ramped up.
Oh yeah, because I was a little annoyed until I realized what was happening.
Yeah,
because it was just like, really you gonna lay it all out? Oh. Yeah, I got you. I'm in.
And then I'm like, buckle. I didn't know where the turn was going to go.
So you're right. So we got the typical slasher, like the gimmick slasher, where you said he was like a welder wearing a welder's helmet, had the blowtorch, the whole nine, and so you're like, okay, this is his gimmick. But as we find out, there's a reason for the gimmick, and that's what I loved. And also the name of the short, The Thing in the Woods, is also subverted.
Mm-hmm. Yep.
I almost hesitate to talk more about
I
the
don't think we should.
twist.
No, don't.
But there was a nice twist in this where the killer, his face is revealed, and then we get kind of like, not half. It was maybe at like the 15-minute mark. Then the rest of it is like catching you up to kind of just filling in some blanks, which I won't say much more, I guess. But I loved it.
Loved it.
It gives a reason for the slasher, and it just was great. It was like a nice twist on a very tried and true type of subgenre.
Yeah.
And it was very simple, and it was effective. And with shorts, I wish more would try to do this because it just was so effective. It immediately puts you in. Like Ari said, it's sort of like it's not the clicking roller coaster. It throws you right into things. You're already on your way down, like, putting your hands in the air, and you're in for the ride. And then it starts to sort of like slow down, and then you get a feel for what's going on. And I thought that was a great way to do it. And yeah, I love this one. This is my favorite. I'm going to say right now.
Oh,
I mean, there's excuse me. When watching anthologies or shorts, I try to give. To me, it's a compliment where I'll say, I wish there was more of it. I was teased. I wish I saw more.
Yeah.
In this case, in this case, I don't want any more.
You know what? I would actually. I'm going to go out on a limb and say I think they gave us a little too much.
Really?
There was a Fade to Black where I thought it should have ended, and then there was another minute and a half of the story. I would have liked for it to have ended at that Fade to Black.
Yeah, and just be wondering.
Yeah.
Wonder how it happened.
How about you, MZ? Oh, I know what you mean now. Okay, yeah.
No, I know. I like that extra minute and a half. Keeps you on your toes.
That's because at the Fade to
thing.
Black, you're like, what happened? You left because, like I said, I don't want to give anything away, but you left to. The story can go anywhere at that Fade to Black. When it comes back in and shows you that minute and a half, the story is going in a direction. They've angled you in a direction.
And I personally, I didn't mind it. I kind of like the way.
That is a matter of personal opinion. Sure. I would have rather had ended Fade to Black and let my mind.
The story. It carries its tropes well. It for the most part. I think the acting was believable, especially as far as 80s slashers go. What I also liked was what you didn't see much back then. What you saw here, and I was thinking about it when I was watching it, and that's like actual physical hand-to-hand combat.
Yes.
No trapdoors, no trickery or anything like that, no giant objects, just actual physical hand-to-hand combat. You'd never see that in slasher
No,
films.
you get that from time to time.
From time to time, sure, but not as often. It happens a whole lot less than
this
you
led me
realize.
to believe something else was going to happen with how it was playing out.
I did love some of the fights. It was like
I thought something. I was like, yeah, I see where this is going, and then something happened. I was like, oh, nope, I pegged this wrong.
Because the only time the first time I remember seeing hand-to-hand combat like in a slasher would be Jason Takes Manhattan, and it was the boxer.
Yes,
marking out for that. So
Yeah.
when we saw the fights in this, it made me immediately think of that. I'm sure it may have been done before, but that's what immediately stuck in my mind.
But any old physical hand to hand combat back in the 80s usually results in a quick death with the victim. Here, the hand-to-hand combat was actually played out pretty well, and played out for a hell of a lot longer than you would realize than most.
Yeah.
So that was a nice twist,
And also makes sense.
and the whole that's what I love. The whole
Right, yeah,
the
yeah,
whole
that's a good point, yeah.
purpose, the whole purpose of the slasher makes sense.
yeah. And one of the highlights for me
and is a great character, by the way. I love that idea of the welder. I think it's a great character. I would like, its time has passed, but you know what? I would have really loved to have seen that, along the lines of like a My Bloody Valentine sort of thing,
What was the one that Jarrett showed us? There was a welder in that. The Jarrett Blinkhorn, Blinkbuster video one we did. The really
Nail Gun Massacre?
Oh, I guess it was a nail gun then. But she did welder's mask.
Yeah.
Her dad was a welder.
Yeah. And one of the highlights for me was I guess it was the jock guy when he was when he had the knives. Like he was that scene was ridiculous. He kept going to grab for a knife, and then the killer would grab it and use it against him like 5 or 6 times in a row. But anyways, what he did with he stabbed him and he had that wound in his stomach, and then he would use the torch and you could see the fire coming out of like the holes in his body.
Yep.
Unlikely that would actually happen, but once again, playing into the ridiculousness of it, I thought that was that's such a great funny scene. So yeah, I really love this, and I thought it was so much of it was smart, right down to the title of the short and just the explanation for the slasher. I thought this was great. You guys have anything else to add to this one?
My favorite one. Fuck it. I'll say it right now with
Nice.
you. Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah. Yeah, dude.
All right.
Jesus Christ, I'm not judging.
What you mean that's your favorite one?
I'm gonna throw more shit at you.
All right. The next one was Mirari, directed by Joe Dante.
Interesting.
And this one definitely, to me, we've seen this type of story before. Like, we've seen something like it. And to me, very reminiscent of Twilight Zone. And one specific episode, I will say, is Eye of the Beholder.
Eye of the Beholder, exactly.
Now, and also, like, maybe The Similars, right? We did the film The Similars. Yeah. So there's some stuff here that we've... So this is nothing... It's not a new concept. But the way it was presented, I thought, was a little different that I hadn't necessarily seen with the boyfriend and his role. So it basically was this woman who got in a car accident, and she had a scar on her face, and she was very, like, maybe not obsessive about it, but definitely was cognizant of it and wanted to try to hide it. And, she kept telling her boyfriend, I'm really ashamed of it. He's like, oh, don't, you shouldn't be ashamed of it, blah, 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 whatever. And then he talks her into actually having it removed. So it's to the point where, like, oh, well, I can get you in touch with my mom's doctor, we can get this taken care of. And so obviously she feels comforted by that because she's very self-conscious about it. So goes to see this doctor, Dr. Mirari, who was played by Richard Chamberlain, who was awesome in this. And like it was, like I said, it's not an entirely tired story. Like this is something you haven't seen ad nauseum. It's not like the slasher, so it's not something that has been done so many times. But we've seen it enough to kind of know where it's gonna go. And like I won't say too much. I was hoping for a nice twist on this one, especially after the last one. And I won't say much more than that. But I thought Richard Chamberlain was fun. He was really really fun in this.
Yeah, he was creepy enough.
Yeah, creepy enough. And I guess it's too hard to say too much more, so you guys can jump in and talk about thoughts.
It kind of went exactly where you thought it was going to go.
Absolutely, yeah.
The reveals as it progressed were nice. As she realized where she was, when she got in the elevator.
Yeah.
She saw that image in the elevator, and I thought as the story progressed, the doctor and the nurses and everyone else played their parts very well.
Right.
But like I said, this is kind of just I forget. I can't think of the words I want to use, but it's like Twilight Zone.
Throw in a little Total Recall while we're at it too.
Sure.
Yeah, I mean,
yeah.
there were yeah.
Sorry.
You know what? I thought of you when that happened.
So did I.
MC, that was.
Yeah.
I just
Thanks,
MC,
man.
MC's gonna love that.
Yeah.
He's gonna talk about that.
Oh, did you see it?
Yeah.
I paused it 4 fucking times.
And I neglected to. I think I did mention it was directed by Joe Dante. But if everyone knows Joe Dante. He's done some of your favorite movies probably.
Yeah.
But he did
Burbs.
Huh?
Did the Burbs.
Oh yeah.
Gremlins.
Howling.
Yeah.
He one. I was just going to mention I forgot the name of it, but now I see it. It's the Hole, a film we did in our first year, I believe. So we have done a Joe Dante, Small Soldiers, Matinee, The Burbs.
I forgot all about
Inner
that.
Space. He did some amazing stories. Country Zone from the '80s revamp. Gremlins. He did Twilight Zone the movie, Police Squad, a couple episodes. The Howling, Rock and Roll High School, like he's a legend, you know.
Okay, I didn't know any of that when I watched this. I am going to throw this out there. I'm a little disappointed in this.
Sure.
Yeah,
you could see that.
Yeah.
With that as your catalog,
yeah,
this is what you hand us. I mean, this is. I mean, this. There's nothing wrong with this movie, but that's the problem. It's just kind of
by the number. It's a
this
very
is
by
almost
the
like
movie.
Just this could be a college,
project.
College project.
Yeah.
That a kid just has too much money to blow.
Yeah. It told its story.
Yeah.
And it was effective.
I mean, it did exactly what it was supposed to do. The special effects in it were amazing.
Very good practical effects.
The
I will
acting
give it that.
was great, but there was nothing that shocked you. This went exactly how it was supposed to go.
Yeah. If you've seen Twilight Zone: Eye of the Beholder, then you've already seen this.
Yeah, and and it's not
That's
really
what it comes down
it's
to.
not really a spoiler, unfortunately, because it is very predictable, and especially after seeing this, after the first one, The Thing in the Woods, I was expecting another subversion of a, like I said, this hasn't been overdone, but a trope, something we've seen before. And I was really hoping that we would get some kind of subversion or something, a twist or something different.
I thought she was going to be beautiful, but didn't see it, or and lose her mind.
That would have been fucking good.
Oh yeah, that's what I was expecting. You're gonna take the bandages off. She's gonna be beautiful, but in her mind, she's gonna be hideous.
And then kills herself or like something horrible.
It was gonna be a whole mental thing.
That would have been fun.
Perfect.
Now I can understand. I mean,
that would have been good, Harry.
There is kind of a and there's a good message behind this, because obviously it's sort of something that especially women have had to deal with for years, is that the ideal, what women are supposed to look like, and how they can never quite be what every man wants, and nor should they care, because they should just be who they want to be and not have to worry about the male gaze and worry about pleasing anyone. You know, it's just themselves. But there is pressure, no matter what. Even if you overlook that, there's still the pressure to look a certain way, to be a certain way, act a certain way. You know, like women have pressure that men don't. Like, we obviously don't shave our fucking legs. Like, women.
Speak for yourself.
Let's see those gams.
That's why he never wears shorts.
Yeah. But
or our faces.
But you know, like I know women might be hesitant to go into public wearing shorts if they haven't shaved. You know, like some people don't give a fuck, and that's totally cool. But some women feel the pressure because they feel that they have to or they should. You know, so little things like that, or going out without like fixing your hair or putting makeup on or whatever. Like it shouldn't matter, but unfortunately it does to some people, you know? So I can understand what they're trying to do with this one, you know, and she has this one little imperfection. She's
beautiful.
A beautiful girl.
And it's a scar, and it's a scar not of her doing, it's because
car
of a
accident.
car accident.
Yeah.
But I mean, well, let's. I mean, don't downplay it. I mean, it is a noticeable scar on her face.
Absolutely noticeable.
It's not
And the
something
girl
that
is gorgeous. The
that
girl's
necessarily needs to be changed, but it is something that she sees every time she looks in the mirror.
And we see worse than anybody else, and maybe just even.
Oh yeah, and I mean, and I could not blame a single person for wanting to get rid of that.
Yeah.
I mean that's not necessarily a vain thing, because that having a scar like that, anytime someone sees you, that's the first thing they see.
Right.
Well,
and I mean, that's not a, you know, I don't want to make myself beautiful. I just don't want to make myself the, oh my God, look at that person anymore.
The girl with the scar.
Yeah.
You know, as long I want to be, you know, Janet or whatnot.
So I mean,
but
because she's not being entirely vain about it. She's just looking to fit in more so than just being that, oh my God, look at her.
Yeah, the girl with the scar.
Yeah.
No, I mean the short does present itself there's a purpose behind it, and it's a story that a lot of young women unfortunately have to deal with, and you know, and like Wolfie said, you know, appearances apparently mean everything to a lot of people, you know.
Yeah.
I mean, if that was the case, would I look the way I do? You know?
Well, I mean, I think this story,
but, you know, it has a purpose behind. There's a meaning behind the story, and I get that. And Dante is straight on with that. But it's like you said, Aries. This from a director like this guy, this should have been better.
you expect more
This should have been
hearing
much
what else
better.
he's done.
Much
But you're losing that moral story with this, because it is something that it's acceptable to want to correct, rather than just something of, oh my God, my nose is 2 millimeters too long, where you lose that moral aspect of this, where this is acceptable for someone to want plastic surgery. It's you know, if it was someone that was just like, I am not as pretty as my sister, I want plastic surgery, it's kind of, you would almost accept that, you know what, you deserve what happened to you. But you know what, she didn't deserve this. There's not that moral aspect to this story.
Right,
because
no,
you could understand why she wants that surgery, though.
And the girl is beautiful. With or without the scar.
Even with the scar, she is beautiful. But it is that first thing you see.
And she's not gonna see that, because it happened when she was 5 years old, under 6.
It was young, yes.
Yeah.
So all her formative years, which we all know,
2 years old she was.
Yeah. So I mean, you know how great it is on the playground, and everyone's really nice to you, and there's no fucking.
Yeah, she's lived through that already. Yeah.
You know, so even though, you know, fair to say we all find her attractive, and seems like a nice woman, a nice girl. She seems cool. I want to hang out with her. But
wow,
you know, and I'm fully aware of my fucking flaws too. I'm.
Oh, you are? Whoa! What are they?
Name a flaw.
Name them. Well, actually, I don't know if we have time right now.
Yeah, you want to go
just one.
No,
I'll tell you this: we're certainly aware of them.
Thank you very much. But no, right? It's not like she's, you know. In
I want you to name them.
Oh my God, no. From the forehead down. There's a reason why I cover myself in fucking hair and long sleeves, and fucking beards, dark glasses.
The Earth's sun enhances your Italian.
That's true, yeah. But you put me in a fucking smoky bar room with no windows, I can be all right looking. But no, yeah, it's not like she's like in her 50s and needs to, you know, cut the fucking McJowls back or something.
McJowls.
Yeah.
What is this? McJowls.
You know, right? She's, you know, and I understand that. But I mean, for me, I'm lubed up. I'm all in. I got my popcorn and a couple of Budweisers. No, a couple of
Budweisers? What'd you say?
Yeah,
Oh, God.
Budweisers.
Let's talk about those.
A couple of beers. And but no, I'm ready.
you want to talk about the triples?
Let's talk about those flaws again.
But to echo, we're gonna get there. We'll get to the fucking the what you love, Monster Zero. But I'm all listen. This is gonna circumvent fucking everything. And I didn't know who any of the directors were when we watched it. So I didn't find out till Dante did this one till you did Aries. Till right
Oh
now.
yeah, no, and yeah, I didn't. Yeah.
And like we said, it's exactly what you think it's gonna be.
Well, yeah. And
Shot very
the problem
well.
is a lot of the movies that were named, I absolutely fucking love.
Yeah.
If I see The Burbs is on, I am watching that motherfucker.
Yeah.
Even halfway through?
Even halfway through. Even 5 minutes left. It drives the missus nuts. If she sees like the Burbs, yeah, I understand that. You know what? I own it. I don't need to look at it in the store. You know?
My lady's never seen The Burbs.
Oh, you gotta rectify that.
Yeah. You can borrow one of my copies.
Oh, I got one. I got a copy though.
Then why hasn't she seen it?
So fucking watching this fucking stuff.
There's no
right.
excuse.
Fair. You're right.
I want to. We're getting close to the hour, so I want to move along. Is there anything else you guys want to say about Mirari? I think we've all said it was well made, but very predictable. It was the story was told fine. Like I like some of the things that happened, but just so predictable that it just was a letdown at the end. I was expecting
it was
more.
a color by numbers, and he stayed in the lines.
Yep, exactly. All right, the next one is Mashit, directed by Ryuhei Kitamura, and you gonna die?
Smoking's cool.
Yeah, smoking's really cool. Why don't you go have another one? We'll wait.
It's fucking water.
Water's
Really
trying
gonna
to
play
play
for water?
Yeah.
Clean water. Oh.
It went down the wrong pipe.
All right, so Ryuhei Kitamura has done. We did Downrange last year. We reviewed his film Downrange. We also did No One Lives, actually, which he also did, and he's also done Midnight Meat Train and he did Sky High. I didn't know that. Yeah.
And Sky High was awesome.
I love Sky High.
Right.
And he did Azumi and obviously the very successful Versus.
Yes.
Which was a real fun movie. So Ryuhei Kitamura did Mashit, and this one I'm lukewarm on this one. I love some stuff in this, and I hated some stuff in this.
Which one was this one?
This was The Church.
The Church.
I love the fight scene.
The fight scene was awesome. That's okay.
Not since Beware Children at Play have I ever seen anything like that.
A little bit about Dead Alive in there.
Oh, but you know what?
Yeah.
There
That's
was
what
some.
it was.
There was some like subtle things about this I love too. When the kid's on the roof and the nurse,
The
nun
The 9, yeah.
is reaching out for him, and they're just about to.
At the beginning?
Yeah.
Yeah.
And then the kid it's like,
yeah, right?
oh,
Yeah.
I tensed up when that happened.
Yeah.
Yeah, there was some cool stuff
Yeah.
in this, and I think once again it's a very kind of overdone setup. Like we've seen the religious take on exorcism and possession. Like we've seen this a million times. So it's nothing new, and they don't do a lot of new things to the actual story of it. I did like the Italian influence.
You're welcome.
And MZ, I'm sure you can comment. The music definitely was very Goblin influenced.
Oh yeah, I caught that right
Very
away.
Italian influence, and even some of the shots I felt were like he took a lot of inspiration from Italian cinema. So that I dug. I just thought that it was a little meandering at first. Like we have the kid right at the beginning. A kid basically looks like he commits suicide, jumps off a building, but as we find out, there was some machinations going on there, and so a girl witnesses it happen right in front of her, and she's kind of like scarred a little bit from it. She got blood all over herself from the kid falling. So obviously, and then some of the other girls are picking on her for being, affected by it, I guess. So those girls are mean, huh?
Yeah.
Yeah, that's some cold-hearted shit
Yeah,
right there.
yeah.
That's why it's Bad Girls Dormitory.
Wow.
Yeah. you gotta go
In
with
a
the-
church, who would have guessed?
So And the one thing, and once again, I don't know if this was playing up on the tropes or not, but when she's going through the book of demons, Abaddon and like Agamemnon, like naming them, I'm like, come on, like she's taking notes, and then she's like, Mashit, that was it, you know, like it was just this like realization of like that was it, and it
the
just
nun
was
going through that.
It was just silly, and it wasn't necessary, but that's why I don't know if it was just trying to play up on some of those sort of silly Italian tropes of like, you know, hey, let's find out who the demon is, you know, by going through a book, you know, like I wasn't sure if that's what they were trying to do with it. Either way, it wasn't that successful.
And this was after a very nunsploitation inspiring fuck scene between the nun and Father Inya.
Jesus. Jiminy. My stars and garters.
I did like the flash of the demon.
After
the two girls interacted, and then she was scared of the girl. Yeah, and you're like, what the hell's going on? All of a sudden, then you see the demon behind her. It's like, oh shit!
In there for like 2 frames.
There was a couple times that happened where I thought it was an accident because I'm like, did they not edit that out properly? But then like as it happened again, I was like, oh, okay, like it made sense.
But that particular moment where the two girls, that because it was there, and then it disappeared. You know, it was only there for certain frames, so it was just the way it was done was great.
Yeah, that was fun, and I just thought like the beginning was fine. I thought the middle was a little too meandering, and I was just it was losing me, and then shit just picked up. You know, we had that fight scene was fucking like amazing.
Oh yeah, that was great.
Yeah.
Dead Alive meets Beware Children at Play. That's what it comes down to. Body parts flying everywhere.
Yeah. Like, so I love that, and I love the sort of like Italian-influenced music. So there was definitely, I mean, you could see this is the guy who directed Versus in this. Like, he showed some of that, you know? And we don't get, we unfortunately, I mean, from the films I've seen of his anyways, we haven't seen a lot of that from Ryuhei Kitamura since Versus and Azumi, and like, no one lives. I don't think he even really had that much fighting as far as I can recall, and Downrage was just so slow, you know. So,
oh my God.
So it was really good to see it pick up a little bit. So it, you know,
So I mean, there's a few inspirational moments here, and it's
and for an anthology, that's fine. Like that's enough for me. It doesn't the whole film doesn't have to be amazing, and I thought this had enough positive going for it, but there was still some stuff where I was just like, you kind of lose me.
It was kind of stalling out a little bit, but it wasn't until the last maybe 5 minutes of this short that it starts picking up steam and it starts becoming real eye candy if you're a gorehound.
Yeah, they seem to more have had an idea of what they wanted to do and then just tried to fill in the blanks.
Yeah, I would agree with that. So, do you guys have anything else to say about Mashit?
No, I enjoyed it.
All right, so let's move on to the next short is This Way to Egress, directed by David Slade. And David Slade, he most recently did at least films that we're familiar with. He did Black Mirror Bandersnatch.
Yep.
All right.
So that was, if I recall correctly, very highly received from all of us. And he's done... let's see. He's done he's done a lot of TV. He's done some other Black Mirror. He did American Gods. He did a few episodes of that. He did Powers. He's done 5 episodes of Hannibal TV series, Breaking Bad, and he also did the Twilight Saga Eclipse. He also did 30 Days of Night, Hard Candy.
Oh.
And Hard Candy's a great flick.
Yeah, that was his...
Another one with Patrick
debut,
Wilson.
Right? It wasn't his debut. He actually did a movie called Motion. Let me see if that was a feature, though. No, that was an animated short. So, yeah, Hard Candy was his debut.
Hard Candy is a great movie.
That's
such a good movie.
Great debut.
Yeah.
So he's pretty well established. He's done a bunch of music videos as well. He did something for Aphex Twin, Fatboy Slim, Stone Temple Pilots, Tori Amos, System of a Down, Stone Temple Pilots, AFI. So he's done his fair share of music videos as well. Did you guys like 30 Days a Night?
I did.
Yeah, I liked that flick.
It was okay.
I thought it was pretty good.
I enjoyed it.
So David Slade, you know, especially after seeing Bandersnatch, I feel like he has a style now that I'm familiar with. Now, I don't remember seeing that style necessarily in some of the older films, but I haven't seen them in a while. But I feel like this is a very like gritty, visceral short. Now, the idea, the decision to film it in black and white, I think, was a really good choice for this. It fit really well with what was going on. Now, did I understand the short all the way through? Not exactly. I think I got the gist of it, but you know, it was one of those ones that was sort of on a different level, dealing with, you know, repressed feelings and emotions, and you know, so I thought it was fairly interesting the way it was done. Looked great. I love the way it looked, and I like some of the performances too.
The performances were good. Things were starting to, you know, and it doesn't take long before things start getting a little fucked up.
Like Adam Godley was Dr. Salvador.
Yep.
And I recall him from he looked
Willy Wonka, Charlie and the Chocolate Factory.
Yep.
The remake.
Yeah.
For the remake, yeah. And he was in the Umbrella Academy. He played Pogo, which are you familiar, Raven Shadow, with Pogo?
I've read the first Umbrella Academy trade probably like 7 years ago. I've not seen the Netflix show yet.
So that's him. He plays.
Oh, really?
He plays the ape.
Yeah, actually, when I read that again, it'd be like reading it for the first time. It's been so long.
But if you look at him, he sort of like resembles an ape a little bit.
Because
like
his ears stick out like mad,
and his face is just really small, like his nose and his mouth. You know, I'm not making fun of the guy, but he has some facial features that look very kind of ape-like.
Structure that can help, that would help him out in a role like that. Him and like Ron Perlman. I mean, both of them. You know, you got that lantern jaw, but this guy's got the ears sticking out, so it works out well for him.
Yeah, I'm sure he had a really great childhood too.
Speaking of rough
every day was fucking magical in the school you had.
No, I just love I love the way this movie looked and how it all played out. Plus, going back to Patrick Wilson, this actually explains how Patrick Wilson ended up in this short, since he was in Hard Candy.
So, okay, yeah.
That explains how he got in this.
It's like, hey Patrick, I have a great pot for you.
Must have done it as a favor, you know.
Remember how good you were in Hard Candy? Can I be in your movie? No, you're gonna be on the phone.
You're gonna play the role of the voice.
You're the voice.
And it's a woman takes her two sons over to the doctor, and apparently she's worried that they're starting to mature a little much earlier than they're supposed to.
Which I love the scene where the kid's like, he's like, "Mom, I gotta take a shit." He's like what, like a 9-year-old kid, maybe 10.
Yeah.
That was pretty funny.
And as they're waiting in the waiting room, and they're waiting there for like probably about an hour and a half, longer than they should be.
I think it was longer. Yeah.
Things in the doctor's office start getting a little bit bizarre.
Right. The mom, people start to look uglier to her over time.
The receptionist, her face started getting all distorted,
and she was bloody
and
dirty,
and the hospital, or not the hospital, but the waiting room itself was starting to get grimy,
gritty and
dirty, and
like covered in poop. Like it was gross. It was
shit all over the walls.
Well, that was the beauty of the black and white, is like you didn't know if it was dirt, blood, shit. It was just, it was just, it kind of left you to interpret what was happening.
Well, I interpreted a fucking smelly ass fucking clinic, I'll tell you that much. And already, like, now this is where this fucking flick is kind of starting to fucking lose me, because we talked about it before. Like, didn't people kind of like maybe talk about what they're kind of doing? Well, I know this isn't a hospital, but this is already the second short that involved some kind of medical facility.
Okay.
And it's not the last.
Okay.
And that bugged me.
But I mean, this is...
Why would that bug you?
This is completely different.
But
like,
still...
No, but there's nothing. This is 180 from what you just saw.
But we're still back into some kind of medical... And I've already been in enough fucking medical rooms over the last like week or so I don't really want more of that funness.
If any of your medical rooms resembled this one, go to a different place.
Oh, yeah, exactly. Yeah. He's
Shit,
definitely-
you didn't go to St. Vincent's, did you?
I didn't go to fucking St. Vincent's.
Oh, good.
you know.
There you go.
I'm self-destructive, but not that much.
Motherfucker, I go to St. Vincent's before UMass.
Oh.
Wow, and you're still alive to tell about it?
Yep.
Good for you, man.
Maybe I should have went to St. Vincent's. But it was gross, and I think it smelled.
And it's almost like the woman was like traveling down the rabbit hole, because as she was walking deeper and deeper into the
catacombs,
into the clinic, you know, trying to find her sons, because apparently they disappeared.
Well, get into shit.
Yeah,
things start getting even worse.
Yeah.
But you also start to realize what is happening.
Right.
But you know what? I will say I was a little disappointed with seeing the sign. I don't remember the exact wording, but this way to the egress. I thought there was going to be something more.
Okay.
Knowing my oh God, Barnum and Bailey
Circus.
Yeah.
Oh.
You love circuses. You love trapeze artists.
But Barnum and Bailey. That was his big.
Oh,
thing.
yeah, right. We talked about that. We talked about the live
this way
show.
to the egress.
Goro was talking about that.
Okay.
Remember
But-
when we were in that
yeah.
room? We thought it was a secret, like, potty room?
Yes.
At the
Yeah,
live
that was
show?
his big trick. This way to the egress to get people to pay again.
Yeah,
So
yeah.
I just thought there was going to be something more, because that would be strange wording of a sign in a clinic.
Yeah.
No one says egress.
It's funny. Like, I was like, what the fuck? I was trying to remember what we were talking about. But, yeah. Marion jumped in. P.T. Barnum.
P.T. Barnum. Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
So I was expecting a little more because of that sign.
Bless you. Jesus.
Fucking water's gone bad. Some of that whiskey areas.
But I mean, I was expecting more, but I did like this short. I liked the way it progressed, in the way that no one else really acknowledged what was happening, and you didn't know what was real and what wasn't. Things happened, and people didn't react the way a normal person should react to what was happening. I mean, without giving anything away, I don't want to say, but like, she did things where a normal person would have responded much differently than, ugh.
You're right.
You know,
That's how MZ would reply.
yeah.
Have you seen my kids? Ugh. I'm no fucking nurse. This ain't the Red Cross.
Fucking asshole.
What, are we lying? You
No.
5 times before you sit down in this room every week.
You walk in the door, go.
I'm so fucking tired.
I walked in the door saying, because it was like 1,000 degrees in here.
Yeah, you say it all the time, anyways.
It's hot.
There you go.
Where are my sleeves? This look
No,
gross.
all right. Shall we? All right.
Yeah,
So
you have anything to say about this?
No.
No, I like this, even though I feel like it did lose me as far as the story goes a little bit, but
I liked how it was a descent into madness, sort of. You know, like, regardless of whether or not I understood everything that was going on, like, I just liked how it sort of just went further and further and further, got grittier and darker, and you know, I thought it was original. Like, that's one thing you can't say about a lot of these anthology shorts, you know?
yeah, originality is one thing this short does have going for it. In fact, it might be the best thing going for it. Even though it didn't really make much sense, but then again, maybe it wasn't supposed to. Maybe we're only supposed to project our own opinion on what is actually going on.
I 100% agree with that.
Yeah.
That you are left to think what, you know, because it is left open ended, and you got to interpret it how you interpret it, and I 100% love that. And aspects of the short that, you know, it's like you don't even know if they're real. You know, like she was listening in on the conversation. Is that real? Did what happened after that conversation, was that real? You know, you don't know what's real, what's fake. The further you get into the short, the more you don't know what's happening in this short, and it is amazing for this short. But being what we were handed before this, the other shorts, this was perfect for where this sat in this movie.
All right. Good point. Good point.
All right. I think we could probably move on to the next and final. This short is called Dead and was directed by Mick Garris.
Back in a fucking hospital.
And most of you probably know Mick Garris's filmography, or at least some of it. But I got a hot take in a sec. But Mick Garris, let's see, some of his credits. He's done a bunch of TV recently. He's done like Once Upon a Time, Shadowhunters, Ravenswood, Bag of Bones. And then in the 2000s, he did 2 episodes of Masters of Horror, Valerie on the Stairs and Chocolate. And before that, he has done, he did the Shining TV miniseries.
Yep.
He did the Stand miniseries. He did an episode of Tales from the Crypt. And he did the film Sleepwalkers, Psycho 4, The Beginning, and Critters 2. So, my hot take, Mick Garris is considered a master of horror, and I do not believe he should be. That's my hot take.
Yeah, you wouldn't be wrong.
What has he done that like really stands out as like must see?
I mean,
Critters 2.
It just might be, but no. Actually, no. I take that back. You know what? Psycho for the Beginning just does not get as much credit as it deserves.
Yeah, but it's not a quintessential like.
No, it's not. But it gives a complete backstory to Norman Bates.
Sure.
And it is his best. It is his best work. I mean, even though he did the 2 Stephen King miniseries, which are not really all that great. He did the Masters of Horror.
But
not too
he
bad,
wasn't.
But he wasn't a master of
he
horror.
He wasn't a
then.
master of horror.
No,
I don't get it.
And he did Sleepwalkers,
Now,
which I'm not a big fan of.
No, and now he's much more well known for his podcast, Postmortem, than he is as like a master of horror. I don't. Maybe it's not such a hot take, but why is Mick Garris lumped in this group? You know, I just don't get it. I don't get it.
Yeah, I don't. Well, maybe it's his hair. You know, I think
he does have good hair.
I think his hair has accomplished more in life than all of us combined. You know, say what you want about the guy's directing skills. The guy has awesome hair. You know,
so
you
can't
take that away from him.
And watching this short just reinforces exactly how I feel. I fucking hated this short. I hated it.
Yeah, Johnny, get mad.
Well, I'm not. It just was bad.
You know what? I've been waiting for something to really spark my memory about this short.
Yeah,
because
it was the kid.
I got nothing.
His parents died.
Yeah.
Bruce Wayne kind of story.
Right. Okay,
you know, like
the idea behind this story was good, and
what the Sixth Sense.
Right, Sixth Sense meets
yeah.
Meets
Well,
Batman.
that was. I mean,
meets Batman meets fucking like Lifetime movie.
Yeah.
And that I got to tell you, the scene at the end when he is being choked by the killer at the end, the kid.
Oh,
and then
if you're going to talk about what I think you're going to talk about,
and then they show it like these like ripple effect, and his mother's like, "Just go, come with me," and the other girl's like, "Don't do it, don't go to her." Like
that looks so cheap, didn't it?
It looked so cheap, and the acting was so bad. It was fucking laughable. If I was into it at all, that would have killed it for me. It would have killed it.
And let me tell you, if you're hell-bent against killing a child, and how old is he? Maybe, 9, 10 years old?
No, he was like 13, 14.
13,
yeah.
Is he?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
Even so, 13 or 14 years old, if you're hell-bent on strangling, like literally choking the life out of a 14-year-old kid, that kid isn't going to last any more than 10 seconds.
And
15.
And you know this from past practice.
Go on to
Go into Tubi.
Go see my photo album.
Go to
all Polaroids. Guess why?
Go to the Massachusetts police records, and you'll see my name.
Ask for M0.
Yes. And then how he gets his revenge on it. It's just fucking ridiculous.
So, just for people, I don't know, people don't want to see this. Basically, the basic premise: this kid has a recital, or he's playing music, and then his parents are driving him home, and then all of a sudden there is a criminal ruffian in the back seat threatening to kill the kid, and
they get carjacked.
Yeah, for what reason too? The reason was never ever.
They
given.
did.
Yeah,
they did not
that's
say,
the big issue I have with it. That he forces them out of the car, and then just like
he's like, "You looked at me. You looked at me.
You looked at me.
Yeah.
So get the fucking car and drive away. Then
wear a fucking mask, bro. Turn your fucking hair back.
Right.
Don't be fucking.
So
be a better
Dude,
thief.
I mean, be a better killer than this, pal.
So it's not even clear why, like, what the problem was or why he was doing this. Whatever, it's fine. He's a bad dude. All right, he does bad shit. And so, anyways, he kills the dad, and then the kid runs away. The mom tells him to run away, and then the mom dies, and the kid gets shot in the chest, or through the back and out the chest. And then he goes to the hospital. They're able to save him. He died for 17 minutes, I think they said, right?
Yep.
And then they bring him back, and now he can see other ghosts. His mom is visiting him, telling him, "Just come with me. Let go. Stop breathing." Like it's just
fun.
so.
It's like go to the Cape. Come on.
Yeah,
go on
let's go.
vacation.
Let's go hang out.
Yeah.
Like
and also if
Let's go
you're
hang out in the
sure
afterlife.
if you're sure that your father is dead, and you keep on asking the nurse, "Where's my mom? Where's my mom?" and the nurses do everything they can to dissuade you from finding out what happened to your mother.
She visited him, so he wasn't sure. I mean, I will say that's he thought that she was actually
because he saw his dad get shot to the head.
Yeah.
His mom might have been shot when
he was running
He was
away when
running
his mom
away,
got shot.
yeah.
So for all he knew, that ghost was his mother alive.
Yeah, he thought it was, but
Let go.
But they did harp on it a lot, like like really making a point to like the doctors not telling him anything about his mom, and it was just kind of like.
Which that's the only one of the only parts of
That's
that
what I was
medical
gonna
experience
say.
that makes sense. Where they're not trained to do that. They're not going to do that at that level.
But they are trained to do that.
But they would.
They get trained how to deal with that when if multiple people show up, like 5 people have been in a car accident, only one of them is alive. They know how to deal with that to make sure they can rescue that person, regardless of whether they're questioning whether their parents or their children are alive or not. They know how to deal with that.
In ICU, they would tell the child the news.
Well, no, but they know how. Like, it's not like oh crap, what do we say? Like, they know what to do. They know the proper answers to make someone not know, but they're not lying.
Right, because they did say the proper answers. Is that what you're
Not
saying?
really. No.
You don't think so?
No.
Oh, well, sorry, kid.
Sorry, kid. Yeah. No, it was a little. It was almost like pointing like a neon sign at it and being like, your mom's dead. Your mom's dead. Well, we can't tell you. Like it just was. It was a little.
Tell
weird.
the kid, for Christ's
Well, listen, I fully get fucking suspension of disbelief, right? I totally get a radioactive spider bites you on the fucking hand, you get powers, and you don't just get a rash or an infection. Fine, I fucking get it. I get it all. I get all the fucking shit we've seen up to here. All right? I get the fucking conversations the ICU had more than what happens fucking next. And the hospital does not close at a certain time frame when everyone goes fucking home.
Haven't you seen Halloween 2?
Yeah, I was going to say. Yeah.
Like you can't just get into a fucking hospital and run to every room when no one's around.
Well, that was it, because he'd lose the kid and then find him right away.
Yeah.
Wow, that's
I know.
that's
in
a
a huge
little
hospital. Yeah.
And how the hell did they find him at the end? Behind a
There's
in
no
a
staff.
closet, but with the door closed.
No custodians. There's going to be cameras
This
everywhere. Like
this
a
was
motherfucker.
literally a Lifetime movie. It felt like a Lifetime movie. It was bad.
Yeah,
Oh,
you know what? And that's one of the worst things about this anthology is, not to say that this is a bad anthology, but you're supposed to close it out on a high note.
This was the lowest of low.
Yeah, this was a real bad way to end it.
I honestly feel probably, well, I mean, obviously I would say my favorite, but I think The Thing in the Woods is a great way to start it.
Great leadoff bat.
Great leadoff, but I think any of the others would have been fine. Maybe this way to egress might have been better, just because it leaves you on this weird sort of like unknown kind of thing. But yeah, like this one, like you typically put like the worst one second, or third. This you don't close with the worst one, and I understand Mick Garris produced this. I don't mean to shit on Mick Garris. I just don't like this. I don't like this short. I know he was one of the producers on this, so maybe he just wanted to have his be the last one. But I just don't. What has he done that makes him a master of horror?
He brought back he created Master of Horror.
So he's just a facilitator?
He's one of the original. He's like the original guy who brought Masters of Horror to us.
He's friends with the guys who made the good ones.
You're right. It does say he's the creator.
Yeah.
Okay, so creator, so 24 episodes, and he did the teleplay for 3 episodes. He wrote 1 episode and directed 2. So fair. It's kind of like putting your name on the door. Like like if you're creating the series, then you get to do a couple. So maybe he dubbed himself a master of horror.
And they were good. I mean, not all of them were headliners, but I mean, who even talks about Master of Horror anymore?
But if his best work is a TV movie that like back when TV movies were bad, that's it's not a good claim to fame, Like if Psycho 4 is his claim to fame, and the Stephen King miniseries, like that's I don't know, like I just they feel budget to me. They don't hold up.
But
I haven't seen Psycho 4 in a while, so let's take that one out of it. But The Stand and The Shining, to be fair, I didn't see The Shining. I don't care.
You're better off
because I Kubrick. I know people might have problems with it. Stephen King may have a problem with it, but Kubrick's Shining is my Shining. So
I'll agree with you there.
Yeah, so I don't care about seeing Mick Garris's The Shining. So I will readily admit that I haven't seen his version, so it's not fair to comment. But The Stand is a TV miniseries. That's what it feels like.
I had it on Laserdisc. It's not worth watching.
Yeah.
If it came out now, it could be different. If it came out now on TV, it's a different world.
But this also his short here feels like a TV movie. It's like a Lifetime thing.
Yeah.
So I got to think that it maybe that's what he does. Maybe he's like the friends of all the Masters of Horror who like is a facilitator and puts things together, and therefore gets lumped in with them. I don't know.
Yeah, it's like, hey Dario, it's your boy.
Yeah.
What are you doing next
Johnny
week?
Cops.
Johnny
Your boy Mick Garris here. Look, I gotta do another thing, and I'm gonna put my name on it. I'm gonna put myself in the spotlight on your back. What do you think?
Let me get back to you. I gotta comb my hair.
Leo, I like him.
I gotta smoke some pot and play some Xbox. I'll get back to you. So I only wrote 2 words on my thoughts on this on my notes.
Shit sandwich.
Yep, exactly. I'm not lying. 2-word review. Shit sandwich. I can't say that.
You can't write that.
You can't. It's so funny you guys knew. That's why we're boys, I guess.
You can't write that.
Yeah. The kid was fine.
All right. So, anyone else have anything to say about Mick Garris's Dead?
No.
Yeah.
All right. So let's. I guess what we'll do is maybe we'll do the verdict, and then we'll give. While we're doing the verdict, we'll give like overall thoughts about the entirety. Does that sound good to you guys?
Sure.
All right. Well, let's hit the verdict.
Trick or treat, baby.
I wonder if people would say you're a trick or a treat.
Trick or treat, motherfucker.
All right, verdict time. We're going to let you know whether this flick was a trick or a treat and our final thoughts about the entirety of the anthology Raven Shadow.
Anthologies are always can be tricky, right? I mean,
yeah, it's a slippery slope,
right? You know what I mean? It's like a box of chocolates, you know what I mean? But like, and this, I give people credit. You know, they made their shorts, and there's. You got to follow certain rules too, or certain time frames and constrictions. I get that, and you got to weave your story to fit that. So I mean, it's not like you have a 2-hour film or whatnot. You have to work within an assignment. I can kind of get behind that, and sometimes it's great, and sometimes it's not. I think this was a treat for me because I do love the genre known as the anthology genre, even when they're shitty. I'm doing that on purpose. I fucking loved The Thing in the Woods. I fucking loved it. If I would see this movie just for that short alone. The one you guys like, The Egress, I thought really looked gross.
But that's good. It's effective then.
And maybe talking about it, it's kind of even changing the way I watched it. So maybe it's not so bad. But yeah.
Yeah, you wanted to wash your hands afterwards, right?
Yeah.
Yeah, it was dirty and grimy. Yeah,
dirty.
Then it was successful.
So all right, yeah. So once again, you're gonna get your same kind of mixed bags. You're gonna get your cliches, but there's some really cool things in here. So I do wish Mickey Rourke was used more. He could have had a couple more scenes.
Yeah.
He should have been there from the beginning. There's a weird thing they tried to lynch all the people who go to the film in, which I don't quite understand. It seems like the attempt at a wraparound was very
I didn't like that.
Underdone.
Yeah.
You know, where just having a rogue movie theater that's open at 2 a.m. that we get drawn to, kind of like a fucking bug light. You know what I mean? Like a bug light.
Well, that aspect didn't bother me.
No, that's
the
fine.
end was
right.
Yeah.
So, but no, overall, it was a treat. But it's an anthology, so you know.
Yeah.
Go out for a smoke break a couple times.
All right, MZ.
Okay, yeah. The best one was The Thing in the Woods.
The Woods, yeah.
The Thing in the Woods. The worst one was the last one, Dead. The wraparound was threadbare, virtually non-existent. Just to have an excuse to have a name actor on screen in this film and nothing more. Anybody could have played that part for a fraction of the money. And also, it's really never really explained why the kid in Dead was able to go free while the others had to stay inside in the theater. That was
I guess my guess is that he was a kid, but
yeah, that don't mean shit to me.
Oh, well, I know it doesn't to you.
And so
it don't mean shit to me.
But when you got 1 out of 5 which really stick out, and others are ranging from moderate to poor, you know what? I really wish this could have been better. This could have been so much better, especially when you realize the talent that you have there. I'm gonna have to give this a trick. Considering the names attached, particularly Joe Dante's work, it should have been he should have had so much more involvement in this. As far as the story goes, he didn't. He just played by the numbers. Everybody played by the numbers. The only one who didn't was the first story. Yeah, this is a trick. I don't recommend this one bit.
All right, Aries.
All in all, I did enjoy this. There were one big miss at the end. Some of the stories they were obviously a little lackluster. Hearing some of the work that some of the directors did, I would expect more from them. But I mean, not every pitch can be a home run. I mean, maybe he didn't try hard. Maybe this was just a paycheck. We don't know. But I mean, he did hit all the points with it. with some of these stories.
Right.
I am going to break the norm here and say that my favorite story in this was the Egress one.
Oh.
And I am not going to lie to you. I probably didn't understand it fully, which made me like it a little bit more. Makes me want to revisit it and watch it again, which is a little difficult because it's in the dead center of the movie. But there was something about the way her mind was just digressing throughout the whole short. And you could just see it and, see how the people were changing and just the environment was changing. It was, I thought it was done very well. It was just very disturbing. And I really enjoy that kind of thing. Not to say that the first one wasn't enjoyable. Like I said, I have my issue with it. I thought it took off a little too fast, but beyond that, it was very good. But yeah, check this out. Just, you know what? You can save yourself the last 20 minutes and just turn it off.
Yeah.
You don't need to see the last short or the finale, because I thought having Mickey Rourke as the wraparound was useless.
I'm pretty sure maybe he was going to the movies, and they were like, "Hey, Nick, we're filming in here."
Yeah, you know what?
We'll
Because
give you $100.
I am not a fan of him. I think he is overrated. He has done a lot of things I enjoy, but like a lot of actors I feel are overrated, he just happens to be there. I'm sorry, maybe I'm in the minority here. I just feel he's an overrated actor, and he was just there for a paycheck, and he definitely was phoning it in, even for him.
Yeah.
So, but all in all, this movie definitely is a treat.
All right, and my thoughts overall, I liked more than I didn't. Like I said, The Thing in the Woods I thought was really strong. Probably one of the better anthology shorts we've seen in a while, for me, anyways. Yeah. Because we recently did Creepy Girl's hanging out in the chat room, and
nice.
she mentioned Field Guide to Evil, which obviously we did 10 episodes ago on 351.
Oh yeah.
And so we did do an anthology recently, and that one was pretty mixed. A lot of animal death. And a lot of kind of weird stuff that just didn't really resonate. I think even the Can Evernall one, even though we liked parts of it, still wasn't great. But so anthologies can be tricky. I think this one had more successes. I liked the first one. The second one had as play by numbers as it was, had some decent moments. Mashit, the one by Ryuhei Kitamura, the last 5 minutes is great. Yeah. Some of it leading up is a little meandering. And This Way to Egress, I think, was a strong entry as well. So when 2 of the 5 are really well done, and then bits of the second and third are good, and then the last one is just unwatchable for me. I think that still there's more better than there is worse. So I will give it a tepid treat on this one and say, if you're in the mood for a horror anthology, I honestly think it's worth the price of admission for the first one alone, The Thing in the Woods. So, they're all about 20 minutes. I think Dead is the Mick Garris one is the longest one, and it's probably close to 30 minutes, I'm guessing. But the rest are close to 20 minutes, and there's some good stuff here. So if you're interested, you like horror anthologies, you want something like this to watch, check out Nightmare Cinema. It's available on VOD and in some select theaters at this time of recording. And Creepy Girl has been mentioning Minutes Past Midnight for a while now and says it's one of my favorite. I think only one wasn't great. So she's speaking to the how good that one is. So Minutes Past Midnight. Haven't seen it, though. So that is going to do it for our discussion about Nightmare Cinema. Use your own judgment. If you want a horror anthology, go check it out. And we'll come back, and we're going to talk about some of our favorite single shorts from horror anthologies. We got a couple voicemail. We're going to wrap things up in a nice little bow. I turned the camera off a little too soon. That's all right. But let me just get the break ready. Man, I'm all out of sorts here. MZ, how long until we're back?
We'll be back in 2 and 2.
Greetings! We are the Retro Reductopus Cephala Podcast, the bi-weekly show that celebrates all the things that made growing up awesome.
He's right. We wax philosophic about lots of geeky crap like old video games and movies, toys, cartoons. I don't know, help me out here.
Music. Pants. Quoting video games that don't have dialogues. Shabibers. Tasty news.
Unnecessarily long Japanese onomatopoeia.
Butt breathers. Uncomfortable nature facts.
Or how to install a thermoflange.
And unlike all those other podcasts, we at Retro Redoctopus have an exciting rotating host schedule.
Do we?
We sure do. So, if you didn't like the guy flapping his gums this week,
like me,
worry not, gentle listener. Next week we'll have a whole new host.
Of problems.
Hey, they might still suck, but they'll suck differently.
And you know what's really cool? Retro Reductopus is part of the Inebriard Podcast Network, with new episodes out every Tentacle Tuesday.
Which is like every other Tuesday. We named it.
Anyways, you can listen to us at iTunes, Google Play, Spotify, Stitcher, or straight from the tab, reductopus.buzzsprout.com.
I'm Alex West.
And I'm Andrea Subasati, and we're from the Faculty of Horror podcast.
And you're listening to Trick or Treat Radio.
Hello. This is the Sasquatch, aka Bigfoot, but you can just call me Frank. And when I'm not stomping around the woods throwing rocks at hunters, I like to listen to the Paranormal Punchers podcast. That's right, Paranormal Punchers. They talk about all things paranormal, and they're hilarious. Go find them on iTunes, Stitcher Radio, Google Play, and ParanormalPunchers.com.
I'm not the fucking Red Cross, and I'm no nurse.
We're back. Was that 2 and 2, MZ?
I believe it was.
You weren't timing it?
I was. It was exactly at 2 and 2. Exactly.
Someone's gonna check you on that, I hope.
All right.
How long is 2 and 2? 2 of what?
2 minutes, 2 seconds.
Oh, okay.
Chuck Woolery used to say that on Love Connection. He used to say, and we'll be back in 2 and 2.
I didn't watch Love Connection.
Yeah, see, that goes to show you what kind of an empty life you had, because I did.
I found my love other places.
Oh, wow.
Oh, hey now. A little smoking in the boys' room, huh? Oh, shit.
What?
Where? No, enough. Hey. What's up, blue shirt? Sit your ass down.
I have no idea what's happening.
I don't either. What was that?
He's just all kinds of weird all of a
It's
sudden.
hot in here.
Hey, cool down. Oh, shit. Someone awesome is in this movie, though.
Shit. Oh, damn. In this one that you have. Oh, damn.
Who is it?
You see who it is? See the name?
Oh, shit. Yeah.
You want to do that movie?
Yeah.
Yeah,
No, I'm definitely down for that.
I eat pieces of shit like you for breakfast.
You eat pieces of shit for breakfast.
Fucking shoot him a fucking Gavin, sir. Was he at a con recently?
I don't know.
Wow, we need that fucking guy.
Christopher McDonald.
We doing that one?
Fuck it. Yeah, for lack of a better choice, I guess we'll do that one. It's a horror comedy.
Oh, that
All right.
works out real well.
So next week, it's something different. You know, maybe something a little bit lighter. So next week, we will check out a film called Deep Murder.
Probably no animal deaths, right?
I don't know. Probably not. It came out a couple weeks ago on VOD.
Although, to be honest, that cover leads a couple things. I don't know.
Well, wait till you hear about it.
Okay, tell me.
Well, I'll read you the synopsis because you weren't here when we read it. This raunchy horror comedy delves deep into the story of a deranged killer as he slashes his way across a softcore porno.
Okay.
Who will last the longest as the stiffs pile up and the killer plows through his victims?
Here's what's fucking funny, all right, about my fucking mind. I fucking knew that.
I know. That's why
What?
said just hold on.
Oh, ooh, I'm a strap on.
That wasn't rocket science to see
No.
a bunch of people between the legs of a obviously dead woman to think that porno was involved.
But I figured it out.
Well, kudos
Barely,
to you.
Yeah, wow.
But I thought of it.
You want a fucking award, don't you?
I do want an award. Pass it over here, Monster Zero. Let me hold it again.
Great. You can design the covers to be sex horror movies.
I've been doing that in my fucking notebook since I was fucking 13 years old. Yeah. Who's the big winner?
So it's directed by Nick Corey Rossi, who's done a bunch of shorts and
Wait,
stuff.
Nick Corey?
Corey Rossi.
Oh, okay. All right.
And it stars Jessica Parker Kennedy, Jerry O'Connell, Christopher McDonald.
Phew.
And that's all the people I remember. I recognize.
Wait, Jerry O'Connell?
Jerry O'Connell.
Yeah.
You weren't
TV's
here for that.
Fucking my secret identity.
TV's Jerry O'Connell.
Yeah.
What was that show? The movie.
Joe's Apartment?
Joe's Apartment, with the cockroaches.
Well,
or
listen.
whatever.
All right, listen. He needed to
Oh, I was
eat.
going to say Stand By Me, but okay.
Well, I'll take that one. That's acceptable. So that's what we'll do. Horror comedy. All right, everyone?
Yeah.
You ready for that?
I'm ready. I'll watch it tonight.
Yeah, no, you're not.
I won't watch it tonight.
You're going to watch it at 3 a.m. tonight.
Oh, no. I got a shit day tomorrow.
Why? Why is it so shitty?
I can't talk about it. That's cool, though. I'll watch that. Right?
You better.
Yeah. I'm probably going to
Fuck
watch
that.
it.
I'm not coming next week.
Aries.
Oh, yeah. Aries is going to be here next week. You going to watch the movie still, Aries?
If I can squeeze it in. I'm not going to go out of my way to watch that one.
What if it ends up on everyone's top 13 list?
I doubt that.
You don't know
that. I will bet each one of you $10 that's not going to make it your top 10 list.
Oh, we're going to make an easy $10.
Gets us number 13.
Yep.
I
yeah,
said
he's
10.
just going to... Yeah. Oh. All right, so Deep Murder. We'll be talking about that next week.
All right.
MZ, we got a couple voicemail. Do you want to peace out, or you want to listen to voicemail? I know you got to get up early.
No, I thought we were going to talk about our favorite shorts.
Yes, that too.
Okay.
Do you want to go first?
Yeah.
Go.
I'll get it out of the way.
Go.
All right. My favorite is, ironically, it's with the film that we reviewed tonight. It follows the same pattern as the anthology that I'm going to talk about. Tales from the Crypt, 1972. It follows the same kind of pattern. And from that is my favorite, Blind Alleys, which stars, his name escapes me, but the guy who plays the writer in A Clockwork Orange who ends up in the wheelchair.
Yes.
Oh, I love that guy. Yeah.
He plays a blind man. And this former sergeant from the Army is here to take care of, is now the new caretaker of this home for old blind men. And what used to be a really well-run place, the rooms would get heat, they would get actual food. Instead, now, with the new guy in, he takes away all their rights, he takes away their food, he gives them nothing but slop. They get one blanket, one pillow, and that's it. The rooms, they shut down for heat for the night, so they're freezing cold. This takes place during the winter. I mean, even his dog gets a blanket, but these poor bastards don't. And so after a while, they just say, we've had enough of this shit. We're going to take care of this guy. So they trap the dog, and they lead him downstairs, and they leave him down there for a good 7 or 8 hours while a whole bunch of blind people construct this little maze, and he has to now deal with being blind himself by going through this maze with the lights out. And there's a whole bunch of different things that he has to deal with in this maze in the basement. It's really awesome.
Patrick McGee.
Patrick McGee, that's his name. Yeah, and it's called Blind Alleys. Very good. An absolute one of my favorites. Probably my all-time favorite.
Patrick McGee sounds like a nice Italian boy.
Yes.
Hey, forget about me. I'm Patrick McGee. Oh. Hey.
But you guys remember him as the writer from Clockwork Orange.
Oh yeah, forget about it. Oh yeah, he's great. He's great.
Fucking love that.
He's
guy.
so great. Oh my god.
Yeah.
That look he gets on his face. Oh my god.
Oh, and he's fucking freaking out when he hears the Beethoven. Where he has Alex singing in the tub.
I want to try to find that picture. Those fucking eyebrows,
Oh my
right?
God.
All right, that's a good one, MZ.
Yeah.
Anyone else have one they want to throw out there?
Yo, man. I mean, I got a couple. But I'm gonna go.
One.
Oh, fuck.
One.
One
single.
Honorable mentions.
Maybe.
One.
Terror at fucking 20,000 feet, dude. I know it was a. I know it was a
classic.
It was done with Shatner, but I mean, come on, Lithgow and Twilight Zone the movie. Forget about it.
Now, the thing I love about that is, I don't know if people are aware of the show
Third Rock from the Sun.
Third Rock from the Sun.
I know exactly what you're
They
talking
had
about.
that callback to that where it was like, how was your flight? It was okay. There was something on the wing. That happened to me.
Yeah.
Like, it was just like, oh my God, like that was absolute brilliant comedy for a sitcom show.
Yep.
The second best callback on that show, and I enjoyed that program, was when he was doing some thing going like yelling at kids or talking to town people, but essentially he was doing the Footloose preacher rant in like a garage somewhere, and that's fucking brilliant. But yeah, no, man, I mean, come on. That was fucking killer, right?
Oh, yeah. No, Either version of that.
Correct.
Yeah.
Aries, do you have yours, or do you want me to go?
No. I'll have to go. I mean, probably a little obvious. I'm gonna go with Creep Show.
Yep.
That's probably the first anthology movie that I saw. At least the first one I recall seeing. And I'm gonna go with the I forget the title, but the Stephen King one.
Meteor shit.
Yeah.
Something just. I mean, I love the whole movie, but just something about that particular scene, or that short, it was just absolutely brilliant to me. At the time, I had no idea that was Stephen King.
Yeah.
I knew who Stephen King was, but I didn't know that was Stephen King. And he just played that part brilliantly. Like, he was just played that hick so well.
Jordy Verrill.
Yeah.
It was the lonesome death
of Jordy
Verrill. Yep.
It was just great, and just the how that progressed, and it was just him.
Yeah, right.
It was great. I don't know. I absolutely love it, and I will always remember that him touching the meteor and then sticking his fingers in his mouth, and just something about that. Although the whole movie is great, but that short really just stands out to me.
Yeah, I was going back and forth between picking something from Creepshow as well, so I'm actually going to go with another one because I had a runner-up just in case, and I'm going to go with. Yeah, I guess I'll go with. It just is so good. This short was. It probably is the best short. I don't know why. I tend to like to do things that we've discussed just to kind of call back, but for me, like, I don't know, this one I think blew us all away, and it is just so fucking well made, and it put the Moe brothers on the map for us, I think, because it's Gareth Evans and the Moe brothers that that combined to do this one, and that would be Safe Haven from VHS 2. Which is just fucking unbelievable. You guys remember that one?
Mm-hmm. Oh yeah.
Yeah, it's just so good. It's the one with they go to film the cult. Bring a camera crew to film this cult, and then just shit goes haywire, and it's just fucking awesome.
Yep.
So that's up there for me. Obviously, like Creepshow comes to mind first. Even Creepshow 2. Like, I know it's kind of maligned among some folks, but I really like the sequel.
Creepshow might be the near perfect anthology. I
Yeah.
mean, the fucking Ted Danson, What the Tide Rolls In one with
Ted,
Something
well,
to
the
tide
fact
you
that
over.
Ted Danson and
Leslie
Nielsen.
Yeah.
I had no idea. Watching that the first time, at least me.
Right.
I had no idea that these two are two brilliant actors.
Yeah, yeah.
And I think maybe I was confused and thought it might be like a comedy because I'm like, there's the guy from Cheers. Like
there's the guy from Cheers and the guy from Airplane.
Yeah, right. Yeah, because I'm
gonna laugh my ass off.
I was trying to think about, did he start? I mean, it was definitely obviously Police Squad was before this, but I was trying to think when the turn of Leslie Nielsen from
No,
like
actually, Police Squad came out around the same time as Creepshow.
really.
Yeah.
Airplane was his first comedic.
Airplane.
thing.
Airplane would have been first.
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah.
Okay. So still like the comedic Leslie Nielsen predated.
Yeah.
Um,
Oh yeah.
That
In fact, Creepshow was his last serious role.
interesting. But he's still fucking terrifying in it, which is his,
Yeah.
his whole deadpan.
or was one of his last. Yeah, it was fantastic short.
So Marianne in the chat room says, my favorite shorts are the Screwfly Solution for Masters of Horror. All the men start killing all the women.
My favorite episode of Masters of Horror, by the way, too.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And White Bear from Black Mirror. A woman with no memory is stalked by people video recording her.
Remember that one too? Yeah.
Creepy Girl, she's just naming some of her favorite horror anthology films. She mentions Cat's Eye and VHS is awesome. So
Cat's Eye is good.
yeah, would you consider that an anthology?
Oh yeah.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, I would.
Even though it was just two?
Huh.
Wasn't there just two films in that?
No, there was the troll. The
There
troll
was the
one.
troll. There was the guy walking along the side of the building.
I haven't seen it in a while.
It all had to do with the cat. The cat was the connector for all that whole movie, because the cat was owned by everybody at a certain point. And
it was
with
three tales.
and with the one with Drew Barrymore.
Yep. Okay, yeah, I for some reason I just remember two, but yeah, okay.
And Creepshow 2 sucked. I watched that just the other day. This was even before I watched what we watched today, or this week rather.
It sucked?
I hate Creepshow 2.
Yeah, that's what I was gonna say. I love it. I love it. I don't know why people hate it.
Because
why do you hate it?
Because Creepshow, it looks like a comic book, man. It has actors in it that you know. This one, Creepshow 2 had George Kennedy, and that was pretty much it.
Yeah, but that doesn't make it bad, though.
Are you judging it?
But the stories were just not scary. There was just nothing there that I enjoyed. There's nothing enjoyable about it. Tom Savini as the creeper. It just looked ridiculous and cheap. The Raft, I hated the Raft.
I love the Raft.
Oh,
because
yeah.
That one impacted me when I was younger. Like I just was afraid to go in the water for a little bit after
Yeah,
that.
that was
the
my favorite
Hitchhiker.
one of Creepshow 2.
Yeah,
And Hitchhiker. Everyone talks about the Hitchhiker.
Hey, lady,
I don't.
can you give me a ride?
I don't. It's. No, it just doesn't do anything for me. The first one does.
I disagree. I think it's a good movie. It doesn't hold up to the first one, but
Yeah, it's not as good, but
Yeah.
I don't know. Like I always hear people talking about that too, saying it's not as good, but I think it's good.
Well, that's just it. I keep on hearing people saying that it's good, and I see people wearing shirts of Creepshow 2, and even on IMDb, I think it has I think it's like a 6.5 rating or something like that. I'm like, what the hell is this? What am I looking at? And it's been like maybe 12 or 13 years since I last saw it, so I figure I'd give it another shot, and I still don't get it. The animation looks cheap.
I've actually never seen it. I did see a trailer for it when I saw, I think, Police Academy Citizens on Patrol.
Nice.
Though,
Now that's
at
a
the,
movie.
At the Elm. Yeah,
That's
that
a
was
movie.
Nice. Honorable mention?
Go for it.
John Carpenter's Body Bags, the Mark Hamill story, The Eye.
Okay, yeah, I haven't seen that in a long time.
Which I fucking loved Body Bags. I love the fucking Stacy Keach one. But it was wild to see Mark Hamill, and he with a mustache.
Yeah, that's right. Yeah.
Playing the baseball player who had eye surgery, and it was like the eye of a killer. It's been a fucking grip since I fucking seen it. But it was wild seeing my boy Luke.
All right.
Remember that?
I remember Luke.
Skywalker.
Yes, your boy Skywalker.
Fucking trilogy of fucking terror. The fucking pygmy scared the shit out of me.
All right, well, we have voicemail from First Time Mike talking about anthologies. So why don't we catch up with our boy and see what he's got up his sleeve? Here's First Time Mike.
What's up, Trick or Treat family? This is First Time Mike. How's everybody doing? Hope all is well with you.
Thanks, baby.
This guy is finally on vacation after almost 8 months without one.
Jeez.
And I'm enjoying the just the sitting around and doing nothing. Well, not so much. It was Sunday was my parents' 40th wedding anniversary, and there was a lot of family came in that we did not expect, including my great aunt from an uncle from Minnesota, and one of my favorite aunts from her and her husband came in from California, and they're staying the week. So what I thought would just to be some relaxing, it's a lot of visiting and a lot of fun. So I'm cherishing the time I have with that. But enough about me. Onto the question of favorite anthology segment, which is a really hard one because even your worst some of the worst anthologies have some of my favorite little segments in it for various and sundry reasons. But the one I remember the most and is the fondest of me is Father's Day in Creep Show.
Yep.
Because it's just a perfect setup. It's just it builds up the whole tension and terror of what's going on, and the visuals are beautiful. The use of the comic style flashbacks, are great. The classic "I want my cake." It terrified me when I first saw it when I was a kid on HBO. It's become one of my favorite anthology bits ever. The strength of it is just like it's just sleazy family undertones, and it's so compact and good. It's just a nice helping of EC style horror that could easily stand up on its own as just a short film, and I just think it's the best episode among a movie of excellent episodes. Some runners-up is the Door, the final segment of From Beyond the Grave, 1973 Amicus. This one just stuck with me with the whole ghost parallel universe, like right behind the door, and just the creepy, shadowy world that lies beyond it, and it stuck with me when I was a kid as well. And there's countless others I could just talk about, and I mean, just talk about the Amicus anthology films of the 70s alone is just some great viewing that I recommend to all horror fans, even younger fans. That there's hit or misses in some of them, but all in all, the Amicus ones are some classic anthology horror. But that's enough rambling from me. First Time Mike. Hope all is doing well with you guys, and talk to y'all later. Bye.
All right, First Time Mike. Thanks, buddy. Some great picks there.
Yeah.
Some classic ones, too. I'm not that familiar with the Amicus films, so...
Oh, yeah, you got to check them out. There's Tales from the Crypt.
Yeah, that one. Obviously, that one I'm aware of.
And there is, oh, damn it, what the hell's the name of it? Tales from the Vault.
Yep.
And Tales from the Vault is very good, too. I still think Tales from the Crypt is still superior. But you got to check it out. It's really good stuff.
I don't know if I should take movie advice from someone who doesn't like Creepshow 2.
There was some others.
What can we say?
Let's see. So looking at the Amicus Portmanteau horror films, Dr. Terror's House of Horrors, Torture Garden, The House That Dripped Blood, obviously Tales from the Crypt, Asylum, Vault of Horror.
Vault of Horror, that's
From Beyond the Grave. So it's just a few of them right there.
Yep.
And it looks like Patrick McGee was in a few of them, maybe.
Yes, he was.
And obviously Peter Cushing and Christopher Lee.
Yep.
So, good cast there for sure.
Tom Baker was in one of them.
Really? Yeah.
Huge full afro, man. You
Donald
should see
Sutherland, Robert Powell, and Tom Baker were in.
Yep.
Yeah. Huh.
Great stuff too.
Yeah, I definitely want to
I have
watch
it on
more.
DVD. I should bring it in and let you borrow it. It's awesome stuff.
Which one? From Beyond the Grave?
Vault of Horror and
okay.
Tales from the Crypt. I have them both on. They're on one DVD.
Oh, okay, cool.
They're just excellent stuff.
Yeah, because I remember we talked about the Amicus portmanteau films when we talked about that. Oh man, what the fuck was the name of that film? Ghost Stories, right?
Oh
yeah. That was it. Yeah. So I remember talking about some of that. So cool. Thanks first time, Mike. Always a pleasure to hear from you, buddy. And we got one more voicemail. This one's a bit long. Do you have to take off, MZ? I know you're going to get up early.
Yeah, I should get going.
Okay. We got one more voicemail, and they're just going to wrap up. So MZ has to get up at 4 a.m., and it's midnight right now. Yeah. So he is going to say goodbye.
Arrivederci, you douchebags.
And we're just going to wrap up in just a few minutes as well. But we'll play the voicemail we got from Nathan Cotton Coy Vance Duke.
Hey, this is Cody. Been a little while, but you all have watched some stuff here recently that I have seen as well. So I figured I would give you all a shout and talk at you about them for a little bit. The Perfection I really enjoyed, certainly more so than most Netflix stuff. But I think I like it pretty much only as like a nasty, little twisty exploitation kind of movie, because I think its attempts at being of the moment, the hot button issues that it sort of addresses, or I don't even know about addresses, pertains to. I don't think that lands very well. I think it's undercut pretty badly by just how grimy and sleazy the rest of the movie is for the most part. It's made by a guy who did at least a little bit of softcore porno, and I think that definitely shows. It seems like I don't know, there was an idea for a movie and we're finally going to be shooting this movie, and now we find ourselves in the present where some things within it are a little reminiscent of the news, and they kind of felt like maybe we should do something about it. Certainly the performances are pretty good. I feel like people like Allison Williams or whoever, I don't think they would sign on to this kind of thing unless they thought it was going to be sort of poignant in one way or another. So I think its intentions were at least in part good. I don't think it sticks the landing, but I do think it is just a good time, basically. Us really enjoy also, certainly more than The Perfection. Like Get Out, I was sort of left, more than anything, impressed by the confidence with which it's made. Peele is capable of just establishing a sort of a weird tone, just sort of like an unreality that's enough like ours that it feels sort of unlike tones from other stuff that, I don't know, you've seen for the most part. There's movies, but the way in which his are kind of odd feels a little special. I like that he's just expects the audience to meet him there, or either, I don't know, whether he's either expects people to meet him there or he's okay with people not meeting him there. Really enjoy it. I think just as a watch, I think I liked it more than Get Out. But when it comes to messaging, I think Get Out is pretty concise. Says what it has to say in a way that I think makes sense, and is kind of provocative. And I don't know, says the right things at the right time. I think with Us, I think it's a little bit harder to shake out, especially, and maybe this is a spoiler. I don't. It probably is. So here's just a little buffer for people who are weary of that kind of thing. when you remember that the, I guess what are they called? The tethered are basically a slave class. I think it's a little more difficult to say like the stuff that, I don't know, our countrymen and the cultures that we thought we weren't having to deal with anymore. These things from our past that we once thought buried are now back for us. I think politically, contemporarily, I think it's a little muddy. I'll have to read into what he's thought about it or listen to a commentary or whatever. I think on like a sort of a personal level or like a philosophical level, the idea of like kind of grappling with yourself, I think is a little more effective, but still a good movie. Glad he's not making like The Flash or whatever they tried to get him to make back after Get Out took off. And just a couple more things. I'm sorry, I know this is running long, but it's been a little while.
We love it.
Monster Zero, I'd like to know if you could tell me, not that you'd be particularly interested in this kind of thing, what cannibal movies there are with animal cruelty-free edits. I know Cannibal Holocaust has one, and I think Cannibal Ferox has one. It's a subgenre that I love the kind of intersection of horror and adventure. I jungle movies I'm a big fan of, but I cannot tolerate any of that, even if it's just like nature documentary kind of stuff. So anything to your knowledge, does Massacre in Dinosaur Valley or whatever have an animal cruelty-free cut? If you know of one, I've tried to look and have not had a lot of success. Just let me know if you know of anything off the top of your head. And last but not least, I was catching up on some shows. I moved back to Texas.
Oh man!
So in doing that, I was listening to some episodes that I that was behind on. On one of them, Michael Ravenshadow got yelled at for like half an hour because he did not go back and start Gavin Hood's Ender's Game from the beginning. He just sort of like watched the last like 45 minutes or whatever. Got yelled at about that for like half an hour straight.
Yes, I did, Nathan.
Say, Ravenshadow, how about this? Leave all this behind. You and me will start our own podcast.
Yes, we are.
Like Bomba Radio.
Oh yeah,
it'll
baby.
Only be movies that we watched like the last little bit of or parts of on cable. So we'll cover like the last 35 minutes of Independence Day Resurgence.
Yes.
Or like the middle 45 minutes of Underworld Blood Wars or something.
Blood
I
Rain.
don't know, just think it over. And if you're ever into having a podcast or you're not being abused,
thank you
by your podcast host for your reasonable choices, for not going back and watching a movie that nobody cares about.
Thank you.
Just let me know. In any case, I'll talk to all of y'all later. Goodbye.
Okay, two things.
All right.
Two things. One, that is so your wheelhouse. You were all over that, watching parts of movies. That is so your wheelhouse. Second, first time, Mike, don't make promises that you're not going to abuse
No,
them.
that was Nathan.
Nathan. Oh, I'm sorry. I get confused. I'm old. Nathan, don't make promises that you're not going to be able to follow through with.
Because he's all into it. He wants this.
Oh, yeah. Right. But you know what? Until you deal with them every fucking week.
Oh, no. Anyways, every week is a fucking miracle with him.
It is a fucking miracle.
You're going to abuse them. Week 4, you're going to abuse them.
Week 2.
Oh, no, I give him 4 because he made the promise. He's like, no, I can't. I gotta be nice.
I promise. No, he's fucking. Nathan Cotton Cody Vance Duke is fucking so fucking smart, and I'm glad he's back in Texas. I wish he was.
Why are you glad?
Glad he's in Texas.
He's happier in Texas.
How do you know that?
I can sense it.
Only 2 things come from Texas.
Well, and now there's 4.
Which shitty Republican candidates is one.
Well, no, Nathan Cotton, Cody Vance Duke, and McFarlane.
Todd?
Jeremy.
What about Jorah Lansdale?
He's all right. So Aries, Alamo. That was there.
Do you remember it?
I know it was. Yeah, I saw
he remembers the basement.
Yeah, I saw it in Pee Wee's fucking Herman movie on the cable back in the '80s.
Whoa, you saw the second half.
Yeah, there's no basement there. I know that. But no, I think what we can all agree on is that...
And by all, you mean you.
Myself, I'm going to speak for Monster Zero, where he thinks this is a good idea. And I think Nathan understands me. And I think it just...
Yeah, he does. That he understands you only want to watch
half of a movie.
Half of a movie.
At your leisure.
It's so funny. I think Goro's doing Ender's Game.
He is.
On,
And
Yeah. Are you going to chime in on that one?
I actually told him to contact you.
That'd be outrageous. Me and Goro talking about. Well, I'll be talking about some of.
Well, you'd be talking about the last half.
Yeah, when they woke up in the bed.
Whoa!
Hey.
Him and Harrison Ford?
No, slow it down. No, it was like Bunks and Harrison Ford's all pissed off. in his
Spoilers.
jumpsuit.
I haven't seen it at all.
Yeah, we
I want to start
we haven't
from the
seen
beginning.
any of it.
No,
yeah.
I defy you. Okay. Sir?
No, don't
Yes,
define me.
I define you, and I've been defining you since '97. No, actually, no, '93. But no, all right. I challenge you. I challenge.
You have to
Aries
slap
God of
him
War.
with a glove.
All right,
Oh,
Johnny,
I dare you to do that.
Johnny, slap Aries for me. Aries, I challenge you. I challenge you to a duel. No, I throw down the
what?
What's the word I'm looking for?
Gauntlet.
No, I throw if you're God enough.
You God enough?
To watch half a movie? Really?
No,
Is that-
watch from the
Are you
beginning.
calling yourself a god?
No.
For watching half
No,
a
I
movie?
wanna- no,
The
I
next time someone asks you if you're a god, you say yes.
No, with your muscles. I want you find the time. Use some earn time, use some pot time, use some,
Jesus.
Aries time. You watch fucking Ender's Game in the beginning.
I want to.
The whole thing.
I'll watch it.
All right.
When we'll do it on the show.
It'll be exciting. Yes, fucking do it. We'll do it for like a.
You have to
a
watch
bonus
the
one.
whole thing,
I'll watch
though.
the whole fucking thing.
In a row.
Patreon, me and you,
All right.
bottle
Oh.
of whiskey.
Oh.
Watch it in this
Oh. Now we're talking.
Can you keep up? Bottle of
Oh.
whiskey each.
All right, it's been a while. All right, yeah. I'll break the seal again. Yeah, let's fucking do that. Oh, some demons will come back, but yeah, let's fucking do that. Let's do that. Fuck it. Who wants to live long anyway? But no,
So
it's
what do you
exciting,
think? Bomba Radio, is that the
Bomba
name?
Radio, this is very exciting.
Yeah.
Bomba Radio's coming.
When?
Fucking wicked soon, dude.
What movies you doing?
We're doing fucking
Whatever you can find on
Yeah,
cable.
let's see what's on. I think we can do it a couple different ways. We could be like, all right, Cody, you start it from like 9:45, and I'll start it from.
No.
No.
That's not a good idea.
You guys each watch an hour's worth of a movie, but in your own time zone.
Right. Yeah. Ooh, that's good too. Yeah, old school.
Yeah, he is in a different time zone.
You gotta be like We'll find it when it's on like TV, like however the fucking broadcast thing
Yeah,
is.
so you're watching the first hour, and he's watching the last hour and a half.
No DVRs allowed.
No, Raven
streaming.
Shadow he wants to watch the end. He wants to catch it midway through. He doesn't care about the setup.
I get fucking so much anxiety over this on Saturday mornings when I'm just throwing something on now. I'm like, oh, fucking, what I watch? I watched something the other day. I forgot what it was. I was thinking about you assholes.
Good.
But no, I think what I'm glad that Nathan is on Team Raven Shadow, and we're gonna do something great. We're gonna be, Raven Vance connection.
Make Raven Shadow great again.
I love how it's Team Raven Shadow.
Yeah, I know. He came up with the
Yeah.
idea, but you're going to take the credit.
Listen.
Yeah?
Listen.
Yeah?
Listen.
We're listening.
I'd be like, hey, Cody, listen, I got an idea.
No, Cody has the idea.
Cody, I like your idea, but here's what my idea is.
Same thing.
It's just like your idea.
Call it Team Raven Shadow.
But my idea is what it is. Is we call it Raven Nathan the Raven Nathan connection. Is that right?
Raven Nathan connection.
Why not Nathan Raven?
Well,
I thought you liked being last.
Well, it depends. Yeah, we can figure it out. I'm just me calling it.
I don't care about your underwear style.
No.
Don't tell me about your depends.
Wow.
In like a if there's multiple guys, he wants to go last. That's what I heard.
Wait,
is that right?
Depends. There's multiple guys? Yeah, no.
Train like we're never mind. Never mind.
Fucking weird, Johnny. You're a weird fucking guy.
No, you're the weird guy.
Yeah.
I'm not fucking. You guys are fucking weird. Nathan's fucking smart.
He is.
He's
He
all
is
put
smart.
together. He's got it all figured out.
He's back in Texas now.
Where was he living before? Was it closer to us?
I think he went to North Carolina, North Kakalaki.
No, yeah.
That would be closer.
No.
Why do you still look confused?
I don't know.
All right.
All right.
Raven Child's confused. It's time to end.
We gotta go. Thank you, Nathan. You're very smart, and I miss you. And I hope you drive safe.
Drive safe?
Call me.
What, like every day or?
Every damn night.
In the vehicle?
Man, you know you're driving a car.
All right.
Just text me, bro.
So I think we've talked about a lot of good horror shorts from Mythology. So if anyone has anything to add, if we left one out that's glaring or one that you love, feel free to send us a voice message or an email, podcast@trickortreatradio.com. Let us know. And
maybe we can pose this question to MZ, see if you can figure something out for when he returns.
What?
Maybe we can pose Nathan's question to...
Oh, yeah, I wrote it down.
All right, cool.
Yeah. So I wrote it down for next week so we can ask MZ. So we apologize, Nathan. You're going to have to wait for an answer because MZ unfortunately had to take off slightly early today. So we will pose that to him later. All right. Well, I think that's going to do it. So why don't we go and say our goodbyes? Raven Shadow.
Live fast, love hard, die with your mask on.
Aries.
Live fast, die hard. Oh, sorry. Goodbye.
Yeah, I don't get you go low on that. Live fast. Raven Shadow, you lower your voice when you do your sign off.
No, I don't.
This is my natural voice.
Take off that brazier.
Are you making fun of me?
I'm not.
Are you making fun of me?
No.
All right. Well, that is going to do it for episode 361 of Trick or Treat Radio. Appreciate you guys hanging out on the live feed. All of you sent in feedback. And all of you that are going to listen to it on the podcast, we appreciate you. Now, next week, we are going to be doing Deep Murder. Raven Shadow, what does that mean?
It means someone's going to get murdered deep. Deep. Like in the water, maybe.
Like
deep.
put your butt to sleep?
Yeah. Or deep, like a deep undercover. Like Axel Foley and Beverly Hills Cop 2.
Axel Braun?
Axel Braun. Can we get him on the fucking show, please?
Why?
Because I think he has lots of things to say. And I have a lot of questions.
He has a lot of things to say.
He's going to be on me and Cody's show.
Oh, really?
Yep.
Oh, interesting.
Yeah. Cody, listen, call me.
All right, Deep Murder next week, episode 362. We're also, by the way, getting very close. I think I think it's a month away from our 7-year anniversary show.
Holy shit.
So that is, 1, 2, 3. Yeah, I think it's four episodes until our big 7-year anniversary. So
what number is that?
What episode number?
What episode number is that?
Well,
can't you do math, motherfucker?
No.
It would be 365.
That's my favorite one.
So once that drops, you'll have one episode a day for a year to listen to. Well, plus the 0 and the specials. Never mind. All right. Well, that's going to do it. Thank you, everyone. And from all of us here at Castle Wolfenstein, we will see you next week.